All-Star Racing League takes on the Talladega Superspeedway for the Best Logistics 250. So grab your favorite beverage and a snack and strap yourself in. DRTV is going over 200 miles an hour right directly through your screen. Next.
And we welcome you to DRL Network live coverage of the Best Logistics 250 tonight at the Talladega Superspeedway. The very first trip for DRTV over to the All-Star Racing League. A great group of guys, David Shin, Gary Mingus, all the group over here have been so great to us here for the last few weeks, and we're thrilled to finally get over here for the first time and be with them live from Talladega tonight. Thank you out there, everybody in YouTube land, for watching us this evening. My name is Phil LaCasse, along with Todd Stanton and Rich Patton on the call this evening tonight for the DRL Network, live from Talladega. And Todd, we've been up in the frigid Northeast, all last week. We were at Thompson, got to spend the weekend at the casinos in Connecticut, and last night we took the flight down here to Alabama to Talladega, and man, the weather is beautiful out here, and, we got a great race and a great field of cars on hand this evening.
Yeah, indeed, the race, great field here, great amount of cars, a lot of heavy hitters throughout this field, Phil. It's going to be interesting. It's warmer down here. We're getting out of that frigid Northeast as everything was going on up there. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here this evening at the Talladega Superspeedway.
No, it certainly will be, as we're just wrapping up practice here, waiting for qualifying to commence here. We're going to talk to Gary Mingus here in a little bit, but first we'll go down to the booth to see Mr. TV Time Rich Patton for the first time tonight. And Rich, you've been busy down there all day long. Got a couple of cool new things you're going to show the viewers here tonight, and an awesome field of cars we got here at All-Star Racing. The first time for us over here, and back home again at Talladega. We've been here a billion times before, it feels like, and I think we're going to meet for one whale of a show here this evening.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more here at Talladega Superspeedway. It's a 2.66 mile tri-oval track. These guys are going to be running 94 laps here. And looks like they're going to be running with moderate damage. But something interesting that we haven't seen recently is they're running 3X tire wear, which basically means that they're going to be pitting a little bit sooner than normal. Pit window looks to be about 18 to 21 laps. Pit road speed's 55 mile an hour. They are running also realistic weather, which is not something we normally see. Usually we see the fixed weather, and they're running a fixed setup tonight. So going to be interesting. Got a big full field out here tonight, and I can't wait to get this thing going to see what these guys over here at All-Star Racing is all about.
Oh, absolutely right. Some great racing over here. You can find these guys at ASRacingN2K3.net. Look up David, Gary, all the group over here. Nelson as well, part of the whole clan over here, All-Star Racing Group. We got a great event on hand. The Best Logistics 250 tonight at Talladega. 94 laps around the Talladega Superspeedway. We've been here so many times before. We get back to restrictor plate racing. Just when we got back on our feet again here on the short tracks, we come back to restrictor plates. But as we await qualifying to start here, it seems like we're a few minutes behind here, just working out some last-minute gremlins here. We wait for the All-Star Racing Group to bring this race to life and get into qualifying mode. But, we look up and down the roster here tonight. So many heavy names here. So many heavy names. We see the likes, Gary Mingus, of course, is here, and David Shin, Nelson, the All-Star Racing League. But you look at outsiders that come in just to race tonight. You see the likes of Derek Justice, the Nature Boy, Donnie Garrett, Frank Divins in the house. So a lot of heavy names we've seen here, very familiar on DRTV over the years, and a great group of cars we're going to have hand here at Talladega tonight, as just working out the bugs here now, waiting for qualifying to click on over to get into race form here. But it also feels I count 32 drivers here to take the green flag tonight, as looks like now we've proceeded over to qualifying trim. So we'll let these guys get sorted out for a couple of minutes here, get qualifying in, and all the last minute procedures complete. And once qualifying wraps up, we'll see if we can't talk to the leader of ASR and talk to Mr. Gary Mingus. And I know we talked to him on the talk show here, a few nights ago. And Gary's got some great prizes he's going to announce for, the winnings of this show, and how all that's going to line up here as we get to the conclusion of this thing later on. But Rich and also feel the cars on hand here. And Gary, all the guys over here gave us so many great tidbits of information to look at, the driver roster, the website, everything at our disposal here tonight. And I think we're going to be in for one fantastic show with these guys. Cool to come over for the first time. I know we get another show with these guys coming up in a couple of weeks, but for a first trip out, I don't know if you can ask for a better place to showcase your league than at a place like Talladega.
Yeah, no kid, this track is notorious for sure for finding out who can drive in a pack. And, a lot of information I found out today about this track, kind of interesting. didn't know if you know it or not, Phil, but did you know that Talladega was not the first name of this track when it was first put together?
I did not remember that. I think I remember back in the day, Rich. I believe it was called Alabama International Speedway. Am I right or wrong on that?
I believe it was Alabama. I'm not sure. Had to look it up again, but I'm not sure if it was Alabama Motor Speedway or International Speedway. But it was definitely Alabama. They didn't name it Talladega until 1989, which I found kind of interesting.
Well, that's quite the little tidbit. As we await, they're in qualifying right now as we try to get these guys out onto the grid and get under green flag racing, but we're just working out a couple of bugs here. So as we await qualifying here, I know a lot of great tidbits here about, Talladega Super Speedway here tonight. I believe this is the first racetrack in the country to have a car go well over 200 miles per hour. I believe that was done in a test session here years ago and officially done on time trials by the late, great Buddy Baker, who, certainly was a fearless human being as far as, getting out there on the racetrack and going fast at these guys. So not sure we're going to see speeds tonight up near 200 miles an hour here, Rich, but I think we're going to see these guys at well over 190 plus mile an hour. I know these trucks can punch a big hole in the air, and looks like the setup tonight here at Talladega really, really hot. I think we're going to see some really high speeds. I think we're going to see a lot of tight racing in the pack, and I can't wait to see where 94 laps are going to take us. It's a fixed setup here tonight, so you're not going to see as far as guys having different gears and different tape measures. So it's certainly going to be a familiar feeling to us here with the fixed setup, but I think we're going to be in for a fantastic show. We're just awaiting, a few of the bugs to be worked out here. We'll get this show on the road.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I think we're going to see easy over 190. I'm looking at qualifying times putting on the board already. It looks like the pole right now is about 182 on that, the average speed on the track. So definitely we're going to see, we just hit a 183 now by Donnie Garrett in that 77 machine. So it's going to be interesting to see once these guys get in the pack, they're easily going to clear 190. I'm guessing probably 196, 198 as we get this night going on, but we'll have to see how it plays out.
All right, so it looks like qualifying may be on the fringe here of wrapping up. We see some times coming in. Not sure if these times are going to stand. I still see some issues there in the race channel, so not exactly sure what's going on there, but we're waiting to get this 250-mile sprint here at Talladega. The Best Logistics Inc. 250 for the guys at All-Star Racing League. A lot of great mods and stuff they got here at ASR. Just looking up down through a TeamSpeak. Monday night, they run the CWS 2014 mod that we're in here tonight with fixed setup. If I can't scroll through the listing here, give you guys just a quick glimpse of what these guys do here on a nightly basis, just to bring our viewers up to speed for the first time. Tuesday nights, they run the NXS 15 mod, a fixed setup. Wednesday night, they move over to the Gen 6 15 mod, some open setup cup racing at the ASR Clan on Wednesday night. Thursday night, they have a fixed setup league in the Aero 88 mod. That is always popular. That's what they run on Thursday evenings. Friday night, the DMR NXS 16 ST mod, open setup racing here in the Xfinity cars on a Friday night. Saturday night, the NCTS 09 series runs an open setup. And finally, 7 nights a week, these guys run. On Sunday nights, the Gen 6 BR in the open setup. So anytime you come to All-Star Racing, guys, open and fixed setup. So they do a lot of it here, a lot of different tracks, a whole lot of different mods, and see some old-style mods we haven't seen there in a while, Rich. We've seen the NCTS mod for a long time in this community be very, very popular, and cool to see these guys still out there parading this thing around.
Yeah, without a doubt. It's going to be interesting to see what happens out here tonight. This is definitely a full field out here. I can't wait to get this party started, and I believe it's going to be fun. 94 laps around here. These trucks are going to stay bunched up. I think we're going to see a lot of good side-by-side racing today.
All right, well, guys, these guys at ASR they're setting out the wigs here, trying to get everything all sorted out to get far into Race Command. We got a couple of great commercial spots that provide us to it here tonight. So let's take a quick word and see what the guys at ASR are all about. So let's throw it to Rich to the booth here for a quick commercial break.
Looking for a quality used car? Afraid you won't qualify? Bryant Motorsports will get you in a car, guaranteed. Bryant Motorsports has financing for everyone. No credit check, no employment check. But hurry, there's only funding for 30 deals this month. Monthly payments as low as $200 and down payments as low as $500. Plus in-house financing. Visit BryantMotorsportsAutoSales.com. Browse the inventory, check the Carfax, and come in for a test drive. Cars are going fast. Bryant Motorsports Auto Sales. Locally owned and operated on High Street in Portsmouth.
And we're back. That's going to be Bryant Motorsports. Used Auto Parts is one of the sponsors here tonight. So hats off to them for coming out there. While the guys are up trying to straighten out some bugs that's going on right now, we're dealing with a full server issue. So we're trying to get that straightened out. We can get Todd back up here in the booth with us before this race gets underway. They have finished qualifying. They're in the drivers' meetings right now. So once we get all that stuff straightened out, we should be able to get this road or this party started here, and we'll get to green flag racing here shortly, fans. So be patient, hang in there, and we'll get it straightened out as soon as we can. Yeah, I see you guys out there in the YouTube chat box. We're still working on this in the background a little bit. Hats off to Collier out there. You can get a Dale, yeah. How about that, buddy? Thanks for coming out and joining us. We will get this race underway as soon as we get this straightened out with this league. And we'll get under green flag racing here before too long. Sorry about the delay, but we got to work this out with the server or my guys can't get connected. We'll be right back.
All right, bud, take a nice big deep breath here. Keep your seatbelt a little tug. Take a breath, focus, but just play the game today.
All right, race fans, we got this thing under control, and we are back at it. They're going to have to requalify again real quick. And guys, what do you think? Interesting start here, but we're back on the air and getting ready to get this thing green. Are you excited?
Oh, as excited as they're going to be, just trying to help these guys along, having a couple of speed bumps here. A full field here tonight for the All-Star Racing Group. The first time over here for us here on the DRL Network. So, they had to trim it out and get everybody connected into the server correctly and, back into qualifying. Had to make these guys requeue, if you can believe it. But these guys, they're pros. They've been at it a long time, and they'll get stuff all pointed in the right direction here. They're now officially into qualifying mode, so we should be a few minutes away from putting this thing into happy hour and getting out on the racetrack for 94 laps around Talladega. You appreciate everybody out there in YouTube land for sticking with us here tonight. Phil LaCasse, Todd Stanton, and Rich Patton, as always, with the call for DRTV. Joe Allen away tonight, unable to join us, but certainly will be missed. But, the terrific trio that we've known here for years and years on DRTV up here in the booth here tonight, Todd, and cannot wait to see where this thing's going to go for 94 laps. A lot of new names to us we haven't seen here a lot, and a lot of familiar names. So I'm interested to see how these guys are all going to mix it up. We know Talladega is a track that can give us definitely 2 wide racing, a lot of times 3 wide racing, and dare say it, maybe 4 wide racing tonight. What do you think, sir?
I'm hoping we'll see some 3 and even 4 wide racing. It makes it interesting not only for us, but it makes it interesting for those guys out there in YouTube watching out there in the chat box. Got to say hello to everybody out in the YouTube chat box. Now that I finally am able to see everybody out on the speedway, I'm able to see the YouTube chat box. Everything's back up and going for myself, and I'm glad to be a part of this, the ASR All-Star Sim Racing race here tonight. It's going to be interesting, Phil, to say the least. First trip over here, and I know we have another one, just like you said earlier on in the going, and this is going to be great. I have a feeling there's some really top-notch drivers in here tonight.
Oh, well, absolutely right. No doubt about it. Said familiar names to us, many new names to us, seeing guys like I haven't seen the likes of, say, a Matt Ebert here on DRTV before, Mike Ireland, Connor Metz, just some different names here we've never seen here. So the first time we'll get to know some of these guys, and, we get a couple of races booked. So we'll get to know these guys even better over the next couple of weeks. Of course, Gary Mingus, we've done some work with in the past, and, a court her up here in the booth with us on multiple occasions. So we know Gary well. We know a lot of these names really, really well over the years, but, it's the new blood and the new faces. Always great to see anytime we come out to the DRL Network and, get outside our comfort zone and meet new people and do new things. So this is going to be an awesome event. Qualifying time starting to go up on the board. We'll update those as they come to their conclusion. About 30 seconds away or so. But Rich, believe you had an update for us, so wanted to give the chat box a little bit of shout out. What's going on down there?
Yeah, just give people a shout out. It looks like we've got a couple watchers that are new to DRTV here, so welcome them to the show. All 3 of us in the booth here are keeping an eye on the chat box, so we can answer your questions and try to keep up with you as much as we can, depending on how busy the race keeps us. But keep that chat box live and watch out for Nightbot, because he likes to play games. Looks like Mo Perry just got hit by Nightbot on the chat box, so you got to watch out, Mo. He doesn't play very nice. And good to see everybody out there. And also, I think I saw Joseph Vaughn. Sounds like maybe a big fan of Ed Vaughn, who's in the race tonight. And I also wanted to give a big shout out to my old buddy Daryl Pace is in this event tonight. Haven't raced with him in a long time, but Daryl used to be with me back in the dyno days, and good friend there. So good to see him out here racing as well.
I couldn't agree with you more there. DP, a real good guy. I got to race with him a lot over the years, especially at your old league, with Dyno Racing League, or Daryl and yourself. We raced together a lot of nights over there. Good to see the 66 out on the speedway here tonight. But, we come over for the first time tonight. All-Star Racing League, as we said. AS Racing N2K3.net is how you find these guys. 7 nights a week of racing. So much different stuff going on. Open setups, fixed setups, old mods, new mods, you name it. These guys are doing it all over here. 7 nights a week. A tremendous feat in this day and age, Todd, for one league to go out there and do it 7 nights a week. But these guys do it up well, and looks like they get some decent car counts here every day. And cool to see, all the old mods, especially, a fan of the NCTS 09 mod that we did so long for such a long time that served us so well. Just cool to see all the different flavors these guys do over here.
Yeah, definitely cool to see different mods that they're using 7 days a week. That's it. That's so hard to do anymore, especially NASCAR 2003, like you were saying, Phil. To have 7 nights a week, have enough admins to do 7 nights a week, and have enough time and energy to do 7 nights a week. We used to do that back in the early NASCAR 2003 days, and up even to as late as 2009, 2010. You've seen guys go 7 nights a week, but to continue on with that momentum, that's a feat in itself for these guys to actually run 7 nights a week still and still get a great car count. And this is a great car count here this evening at Talladega.
Oh, it certainly is an awesome car count indeed, and hats off to David, Gary, all the guys over here at ASR. But, instead of talking about Gary, let's talk to Gary Mingus. Gary, Phil from DRTV, old friend, you got your ears on.
Yes, I do, Phil. We were getting ready to head right to racing, but we'll sit here and go through the happy hour so we can get some information out to those that are watching.
No, absolutely right, Gary. We wanted to bring you in the booth here tonight, and understand you got some great prizes and stuff going on for this event this evening. So I'm going to open the floor and tell our audience out there what these guys are racing for here tonight.
Our first place winner will get a trophy mailed to him for this race, naming the event and his name on there. Also, first, second, and third place will be receiving from Geist White Creations a drink cup that has a slot that we will put a picture, a photograph of their rendering of their truck that they won in the place that they placed in the name of the event. Also, Bryant Motorsports, Auto Sales and Service and Parts Barn out of Portsmouth, Virginia. They are co-sponsoring this event. And Mr. Charlie Bryant Jr. and his family and everybody are sure watching on DRLTV. And we give a shout out to them and thank them very much for their cooperation and help in getting this together.
Well, Gary, thank you for all the cooperation for us on our end, getting all of us in here tonight. We had a couple of demons there to wrestle out early on, but looks like everything's all fair and ready to go. And we wish you guys well tonight. 94 laps at Talladega. Should be an awesome night. And, we're going to look out for you out there on the racetrack. Good to see you out there again, old friend.
Thank you, my buddy. My hat's off to DRLTV, doing an outstanding job. We'll get these kinks worked out. Be sure to be ready for our next race, which will be coming up in April the 9th at the Michigan NRT 400 with open sets. So we're planning on getting that event kicked off, and we'll get all these kinks worked out.
Absolutely right. Well, Gary, good luck the rest of the night, my friend. I'm certain we'll talk to you here later on before this night is out. So good luck. Keep that thing pointed straight and have some fun out there.
Thank you, my friends.
All right, Gary Mingus. Our old friend. Good to talk to Gary. Anytime we can get him up here in the booth with us. And cool to cover his home base tonight here, Todd. He's calling All-Star Racing Group his home base now. And, one of the very familiar faces we see out here tonight. We know Gary a long time, but you see the likes up and down the grid. Heavy hitters like Derek Justice, who took the pole here tonight. The likes of Chris Hartfielax, the Nature Boy Donnie Garrett, Frank Divins, Harry Cody N. Names we've seen on the super speedways for years now, all find their way up near the top of this leaderboard here tonight as far as qualifying goes. And, I think we know what to expect from those guys, but I think it's the guys we don't know who are going to be those to look out here for.
Yeah, definitely some of the guys that we don't know. There's some ASR guys out sprinkled throughout this whole field. We're just learning their nicknames and who they actually are, and their names for that matter. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen. But I'm going to throw it down to trackside. These guys are ready. They're ready to tear into Talladega, so I'm going to throw it down trackside for the playing of our national anthem.
All right, bud, take a nice big deep breath here. Give your seatbelt a little tug. Take a breath, focus. Let's just play the game today.
Drivers, start your engines.
All right, back here at Talladega Super Speedway. Todd, these guys taking half a pace lap. They're in turn number 3, ready for the green. So let's dive straight into a quick starting lineup.
And your starting lineup for the Best Logistics 250 here at the Talladega Super Speedway, starting on the pole. The number 31, that's Derek Justice. Outside of him will be Bernie Mobbs.
Row number 2, we find the 96 of Chris Hartefelax. The 088 of Greg Lovell rolls off 4th.
Row number 3 is the Nature Boy Donnie Garrett, Jerry Walters.
Bob Dixon, the 43, rolls off 7th, and Frank Gibbons rolls off 8th on the number 9.
T-Man 006 is rolling off 9th, and 13 in the number 13, Harry Codian in 10th place.
Rolling off from 6th row, 11th spot, with 12 of the slingshot, Gary Mingus. To his outside, the 56 is Scott Geiswhite.
Second generation driver Matt Ebert, Daryl Pace, ASR Smoke 14 as green flag is out. Jim Black, GA 98 Dolson, Ireland, DC 88 Waco, Dale Jr. Bernie, Stanley, ASR Todd, ASR Tripp, Mertz, Slowpoke, Dinger, and Ed Vaughn rounds out your field. That is your field, and then actually Postal actually rounds out your field there in 33rd.
So yeah, we'll have to work out some of the screen names and nicknames. Is a little behind the 8 ball tonight, late getting this race going. So we had to give a quick starting lineup here. So we'll do a better job of this when we get out here into race conditions. We'll bring some sponsors into the fold, let you know who these guys represent. But these guys are under green flag racing for the first time off of turn number 4. It's the Pulse Hitter, the 31, that Baskin-Robbins machine we've come so famous to us here on DRTV through the years. That's AI, Derek Justice, Chris Hartefelax 96, he's slotted into second there. And the Nature Boy, Donnie Garrett, he's got that Chevrolet rolling into third there, Todd. Single file toward turn 1.
Yeah, single file into turn number 1. Like you said, Derek Justice out there in the lead, the early lead with Chris Hartefelax right there. You got the number 77. That's the Nature Boy, Donnie Garrett. Sitting in the 4th spot is Bernie Mobbs in that number 99 machine. These guys working over the bottom high line, trying to get a trucking up on the top side of the speedway. Not enough trucks up there for the momentum here momentarily, but we'll see that high line. That high line will form, I believe, here at the Talladega TR version, because that high line is one of those faster trips around the speedway.
Oh, absolutely right. And I know we'll see it before the end of the night, but these guys up to the front of the field, all sorted out, single file. Derek Justice, Chris Hart, Donnie Garrett, Bernie Mobbs, Bob Dixon, your current top 5. First truck swinging on the line is about for that 5th spot, the 19. That is T-Man. I have to find him on my notepad here and bring T-Man's name into the group. But he's up to the high side. They're going to race side by side for 5th down the backstretch.
Yeah, I was watching Gary Mingus jump out of line in that number 12 machine. That is Gary Mingus on the top side of the speedway in that number 12 machine. He is trying to get alongside the number 14 machine of ASR Smoke 14. And ASR Smoke 14 is actually Larry Coles in the number 14 machine. So Larry Coles is the ASR Smoke 14 on your screen. So right now he's working over the bottom side of the speedway. Then you got the number 04 machine of Dolson. Dolson is sitting right in behind the number 14. So these guys working over the bottom. Gary Mingus did try to get the top side going in that number 12 machine. Not able to do so far. The two of Matt Ebert right now is side by side with Gary Mingus. That is a battle for the 10th position.
That's racing, as you said, around for that 10th spot. That's the first battle on the speedway, side by side. Gary Mingus trying to pull the outside lane. The two of Matt Ebert to the low side. But this group so far, Todd, looks to be a single file train in the front of this field. All staying all tucked up in line throughout most of the top 10. Now it looks like Gary Mingus may have to surrender a spot to the number 98 machine, ASR G8 98. I believe, to get that up here on the screen, I believe that is Greg Artlip there, the 98. So another nickname we'll have to get used to here and acclimated, but GA98, that is Greg Artlip. They are racing down toward turn number 3 there, Todd, but still all single file throughout the top 9 or 10. Looks like Mingus, number 12, he's had to fall back into the inside lane. So far through the opening laps, inside lane prevailing.
Yeah, and Greg Lovell in that 088 machine, he tried the top side. He's trying to get the top side working along with teammate, the number 41 machine. That's Jerry Walters, Scott Geiswhite. And that number 56 machine also running the top side. They're trying to get around the number 88 machine. That's DC 88 trying to look down through our roster. That is David Chin, and I'm going to have to remember that because 88, that's familiar to David Chin there in that machine. He's working on the bottom. He's right behind the number 12 of Gary Mingus. Mingus and these guys working over the bottom, just logging laps. We are coming up, completing lap number 6 of 94. So these guys single file all the way through almost, Phil. It's about the middle of the pack before you start seeing some double file.
Yeah, absolutely right. And we're seeing Greg Lovell start to peek back on the line, trying to make that second lane work once again. Teammate from Extreme Motorsports, Jerry Walters right there. Scott Geiswhite, the 56. Those three trying to make something happen. Looks like they're going to pick up a spot there on a top side from the number 12 machine. The 12 being Gary Mingus, so he's going to be down there all by his lonesome. That's racing back for about that 12th spot there, Todd. But that top, dozen or so, all glued to the low side of the racetrack. We know this Talladega TR version. We know there's a outside lane out there, but through these opening laps, 6 of 94 on the board. Now, granted, it's a long race, but these guys seem all content to keep it glued to the low side of the racetrack and log some laps here at Talladega this evening.
Yeah, definitely. These guys starting to log some laps as Dale Jr. in that number 47 machine goes way down to the bottom. The 47 is actually Dale, and he's running on the bottom side here. He was down there on the apron in number 47. The 72 is right now working over the top side. He's all on a group by himself as Dale Jr. in that number 47 machine. The 05 is up on the top side also. So 47 after a little bit of shake-up there on the apron. He lost quite a few positions. It looks like the number 81 is in the wall.
All right, well, just highlighting here, I believe Rich has our first DRTV driver spotlight aboard the number 47. On your screen is Dale Jr. I believe that's Dale Skalinski. So, Rich, down to you at the spotlight.
Yeah, definitely, guys. We're going to keep our eyes on what's going on with Dale Jr. in the 47. He's currently the fastest truck on the track. Set the fastest lap with a 48.068. Didn't have a qualifying time, so he started towards the back. His highest position is the 19th. Lowest was 22nd. He's currently riding in 22nd. But just a hats off for him as well, having the fastest lap on the track tonight already. But one thing I wanted to talk about while we were here is you guys were mentioning a bunch of information about league tags, driver tags, and nicknames. And, back in the day, all these drivers, that's all they used to know each other by. For a while, Phil, you were racer, and Todd was too tall, and everybody's always ran around with nicknames, and it's finally, a lot of leagues are starting to have the drivers put their real names up. But that's why a lot of times on our tickers and everything that you're seeing, we're pulling the data directly from the race that's happening, and it's going off of their game names. So that's why you're going to see a lot of these, with odd looking names, and when we start calling out their real names or their nicknames, it might be a little confusing. So we'll have to keep that in mind. If you can't keep up with, which drivers we're talking about, it could be just because of the fact that we're going by their nickname. So we'll try to keep it, as much as we can to what we have in game data instead of real names. If that's what it comes to, I think it'll be easier on the race fans.
No, it certainly will, and thanks to Gary Mingus and David Chin, all the guys over here at ASR tonight. Put the roster spreadsheet in front of us, has all their not only their username you're going to see on the screen, but the real name that's attached to. So we can almost pin the real name with the screen name, if you will, and try to match those up and put the names with the name, if you will. Also, some great sponsors we got here tonight. We'll highlight some of these guys with a lot of the sponsors on their truck. But Todd, as we see up back to the front of the field, they are still all single file. It's that second lane. Greg Lovell, Jerry Walters, they're starting to make a little bit of headway on that top lane.
Yeah, they're starting to make a little bit of headway in the top lane. They're starting to work really well together. It is the number 88 machine, but look how fast these guys are going up on the top side of the speedway. Greg Lovell in the 88 machine. You got the number 9 in line. You got also the number 86 of Jim Black. They're all in line. It looks like up front, though, looks like the number 19 of T-Man 006. He's going to jump out of line. I'm trying to get down through, and we're going to see T-Man here later on and see what his name is actually going to be. And I don't quite have his nickname. It's Troy Higgins in the 019 machine. Trying to get these names squared away here. But like I said, nicknames out there on the speedway. A lot of these guys, T-Man 006. Some of these guys, he looks like he's trying to get up there and work with the guys on the top side of the speedway. And most of those guys in the Extreme Motorsports trucks. Now Jim Blackdack down to the bottom side of the speedway. Also Greg Lavelle. That's going to leave teammates of the number 9 of Frank Divins up on the top side and the 41 of Jerry Walters. Now Divins gets back down to the bottom. These guys now searching for a lane. Jerry Walters also now searching for a lane, trying to get down to the bottom. These guys not working over the top side here that early on in the going.
No, and I think it shows the importance here, Todd, of what a teammate can be to you here in a place like a Talladega. You know, so much importance here. You got to have a dance partner at a place like this. And, you know, as we look at the scoreboard, Todd, 12 laps of 94 on the board. Rich, I'm not sure we got to go over the pre-race entry here tonight. What are we looking at as far as the fuel window for these guys here tonight? I believe it was a little bit shorter than normal.
Yeah, it is a little bit shorter than normal. Normally we see the leagues running 2x tire wear out here, which puts them a little bit later in the fuel runs. But these guys are running 3x tire wear, so they're going to be pitting somewhere between 18 and about 21, 22 laps. I think, dead stick or right at the top with no mileage on them, it's calling for 20 laps. So I believe probably in the 18. It looks like we're getting green flag pit stops right now, guys.
Yeah, just as we talk about it, that window opened up. These guys on the very tail end, and everybody diving on pit road there, Todd. It looks like everybody on the racetrack made a dive all at the same time for pit road. I'll see if we can't update a pit stop, but I'll throw it to you first. Who do you got on your screen?
Right now, I'm trying to scurry down through these guys, and I got David Chin. David Chin right now to the service of his pit crew in that number 88 machine. He's got left side tires going on that number 88. Doesn't look like they're going to do right side tires, so left side tires the call on the number 88 of David Chin, and he's going to be down and away.
Down here down near the front of pit road, I got Derek Justice taking 4 tires. Bernie Mobbs at 99 also taking 4. Chris Harder-Felix, Donnie Garrett, they all took 4 tires, Todd. All their work all down and finished.
Yep, they are down and finished, getting ready to join trying to join this field now. Derek Justice and Donnie Garrett, the guys that are way out in front. The number 9 of Frank Divins, Chris Harder-Felix, those guys are going to be able to pair up together, along with the number 99 of Bernie Mobbs out there on the speedway. Those guys able to lockstep, and Bob Dixon in that 43 machine. We're going to have to see if these guys all get together. There's probably a group of 5 of these guys, maybe even ASR Todd can catch the tail end of this pack, and they'll be able to track down the number 77 and the number 31 machine of Derek Justice and Donnie Garrett, respectively. Those guys had amazing pit stops. But I'm going to throw it down to Phil, actually, on pit road. I don't think Mr. TV Time's down on pit road, but Phil down on pit road with another pit stop.
Yeah, I got another group down here. The 66 of Darrell Pace come in, and then I believe that was Firehouse Subs Chevrolet. He's going to take out 2 right side tires. Look like an elongated pit stop there for DP in the 66. So Sutton definitely going amiss there. Certainly a tough break, but also looked like the likes of Harry Cody were just on. Troy Higgins, the 019. It looked like it was just 2 left side tires of both them guys, Todd. They're all down and away at this end.
Yeah, meanwhile, back up front, we're just waiting for scoring and time in the reset. I believe it's going to give the lead over to Derek Justice here in that number 31 machine once scoring and timing resets with Donnie Garrett right there. And then you got Chris Harder-Felix. The second group is Chris Harder-Felix, the 99 of Bernie Mobbs. You got the 43 of Bob Dixon. Also Greg Lavelle in the 088 machine, the T-Man in 006. He is running in the number 19 machine, 019 machine. He is running right there with that group also. And the 13 of Harry Codian is also running with that group. So you got a couple different groups. These guys look like they're going to be able to spread out there, Phil. Now they're all pretty much lockstep and joined together once again. Looks like Chris Harder-Felix is going way up to the top side of the speedway. He's got all kinds of momentum. And these guys, with this big pack, Phil, it's like these 2 that were out in front of them. They're sitting ducks.
Oh, they absolutely are. Chris got a great run with help of Bernie Mobbs and that number 99 Ford up there. A tremendous one that'll propel them 2 guys to the race lead. Also, Bob Dixon, that beautiful STP prepared number 43. Bob's going to roll the 43 up to the 3rd spot. Dropkick AI, Derek Justice now back to position number 4, but he's got wingman Donnie Garrett right there. But Todd, the outside lane, trying to make something happen up there. Greg Lavelle, Troy Higgins also up there. Also looks like the Donnie Garrett machine maybe peeking up to the high lane. So don't count those guys out yet as the 31 swings up high, and here comes the outside lane for the Assault. They're racing for second off of turn 2.
Yeah, the 96 of Chris Felix got the lead by the high side via the high side. Now the 31 of Derek Justice back to the high side with help from the 77 of Donnie Garrett, the Nature Boy, that Astroglide sponsored machine. Now pushing Derek Justice all the way out front here. Now we're back into turn number 3. Chris Felix able to battle back on the bottom side with that number 96 machine. Not able to pull up to Derek Justice's door quite out of turn number 4 here down through the tri-oval, but you're just seeing two distinct different lines, Phil. You can stay in the throttle longer up on the top side of the speedway. You don't have that checkup effect, the slinky effect, as we would call it here at Talladega, or maybe even Daytona, the restrictor plate tracks, where you have to check up on the bottom side of the speedway. It does not seem like that when you have the high groove railing.
Oh, absolutely not. And I think one thing we keep an eye on here is we see this lead pack all sorted up 2 by 2 by 2 from first all the way back to 11th position. But the importance of how pit road is going to be here tonight, guys, looks like 13 to 14 laps is going to be our pit window here this evening. So that's going to be quicker pit stops than normal. It's going to see the field break up, but just to show the importance of how much these mistakes can cost you on pit road, Todd. As we said, that top group is 11 trucks strong from Derek Justice all the way back to a 2 machine of Matt Ebert. But then you look at the second pack that's well over 7 seconds in the rears. You got Don Dolson there, the 04, pulling that pack. That's about 8 or 10 trucks strong. Back to our friend Stanley back there in the 05 running out there, currently in that 19th spot. Then you see a third pack that is formed. There's 17 seconds in the rears. You find the likes of Mike Ireland and Jim Black and others back there as well. So the importance, Todd, of the shorter pit frequency we're going to see here tonight. Just the importance of having to be so perfect on pit road all the time. It can certainly ruin your night in a hurry.
Yeah, definitely. You got to make sure you get down to pit speed, and it looked like the number 9 of Frank Divens was one of those guys that did not get down to pit speed. He did receive a black flag penalty, I believe a drive-through for that number 9 machine. He's running 28th on the field, so he's one of those super speedway veterans that we talked about here early on in the show. He's one of those guys you always see up towards the front, but right now mired way in the back in that 28th position. So tough break for Frank Divens. The officials nailed him on pit road, coming in just a little bit too hot. But we are now going picture-in-picture live here on DRTV. We got the front pack and the second pack. And the left-hand side, that will be your front pack, being led by the number 96 of Chris Felix. And then on the right side, you're going to actually have the second pack. And I'm trying to figure out who was leading that machine. It looks like the number 88 machine of David Chin. They are leading the second pack there, and they're racing pretty hot and heavy. Phil, how much is that going to play into effect for that front pack? As these guys are not lined up, they're not able to catch these guys up there.
Well, absolutely not. These guys racing side by side. David Shin taking the run on the outside lane. He's got help of the Dinger up there as well. The Dinger in the 72 pushing him forward. But those guys making their move up to the head of that second pack. But what that did, that eliminated a second and a half. It expanded the gap to a second and a half on these guys. It was over 8 seconds here a lap ago. Well, that was well over 10 seconds. So these guys maybe need to think about forming up in a line altogether and working for the common goal of maybe running down this lead group. With the short pit stops here, we're probably only a handful of laps away from a second round of green flag stops here, Todd. 10 seconds on a track like this tonight, that may be a lot of rope you have to hoe. And I don't know if they have enough time here. They got to get single file and get something worked out and prepare for this next round of pit stops and just hope to chop that momentum down to that big gap there. 10 seconds, a lot of time here at Talladega.
Yeah, 10 seconds, definitely a lot of time at Talladega. And like you said, Phil, we're coming up on pit stops here. We pitted right around lap 12, lap 13 is where most of these guys pitted. And they're going to have to do it again here in another few laps. So it looks like Frank Divens is in the wall in that number 9 machine. Just looking to see if Divens is going to cause a yellow flag. He's not going to do so. He's down and out of the way. On the apron is the number 9 of Frank Divens. Tough break for Divens out there on the speedway. We've got about 3 or 4 laps here before we probably go back to green flag pit stops. Now they flash by Dale Jr. and that number 47 machine able to, now he's going 1 lap down to the field. But meanwhile, back up front, leading this pack is the number 96 of Chris Felix. Second is Greg Lavelle. Third is going to be the number 41 of Jerry Walters. Fifth is right now on the field is the number 13 of Harry Codian, but Donnie Garrett now able to pull off that pass into that 4th spot. So Codian drop kicked back to 5th. Sixth is the number 31 of Derek Justice. 7th, Bernie Mobbs. 8th is ASR Todd in the 439. 9th, Matt Ebert, second-generation sim driver. I'm going to tell you right now, I know I've seen his father race many, many a times, the Iceman, Alan Ebert. The number 43 machine is running inside the top 10 there, now passing Matt Ebert side by side, as now the 43 of Bob Dixon now to the bottom side. He's going to take over that 9th spot and wrestle that away, as now they're flashing by. It looks to be the number 14 of ASR Smoke putting him a lap down. He's up and out of the way. Nice tribute to some of these drivers is staying up and out of the way of the leaders. They're going to probably try to tack on to join the tail in the back. Maybe be the first one to actually get a lap back here, whether or not we go green or whether or not we get a yellow flag or not.
No, I'm certainly stunned we didn't get a yellow flag there. You know, there was some serious contact on the racetrack, and, you know, I saw the 9 machine of Frank Divins get turned the wrong way, and I believe that may have been just a matter of, you know, this lead group running side by side and digging for the race lead. I'm not sure if somebody just misjudged the lap car, but just giving Rich a point of reference here to show back on a replay is now looking like these guys starting to jockey back toward the bottom here, Todd, as we're probably about, I'm going to say about maybe 2 laps away from the next round of green flag pit stops.
Yeah, probably about 2 laps away from the next round of green flag pit stops, but we do have the number 96 of Chris Hart. Felix, it was your leader. He relinquished the lead. He's down on pit road to get service of his pit crew. The number 96 of Chris Hart, Felix, down on pit road. We're going to wait for to see what kind of service he gets aboard that number 96 machine as I'm following Hart Felix down into the stall. Really easy in. The number 96 of Chris Hart Felix taking right side tires, and the number 96 machine. Let's see if he's going to go around and take left side tires. Not going to do so. Well, no, he is going to do so. 4 tires at the call for the number 96 of Chris Hart Felix, and he's down and away.
All right, well, seeing this big group here coming off of turn 4, and everybody hard on the binders, all headed toward pit road. Looks like 10 of that top 11 there, Todd, all going to find service to pit road this time by. Let's see who we can't cover here. Let's see if we can't find the number 2, the airlift performance machine of Matt Ebert. First time we've seen Matt on DRTV. The son of the famous Alan Ebert. So many of us know over the years that raced back in this community for a long time. But let's see what the 2 does as he hits the pit stall. On the freight, 2 left side tires and 2 cans of gasoline. So it's going to be a 2-tire stop. Ebert, the tires are down, just waiting on the gas. Matt Ebert, Todd, he's down and away. Who do you got?
I'm down in actually the pit stall of the number 66 of Daryl Pace, and it looks like right side tires going on that machine. What was going on that machine? I'm not sure what's the hold up in the 66 crew. Is it right side tires? Maybe a lug nut jammed on the number 66, but he did get right side only. That was a pretty long pit stop for 2 right side tires.
Looks like it was 2 right side tires for Harry Codian, also 2 right sides for Donnie Garrett, and also looks like it was 2 right side tires there for Greg Lovely 88 as we let this thing all cycle back on through.
Yeah, it looks like the number 47, Dale Jr. I was trying to look through the field as I did see smoke. And the 47 of Dale Jr. has blown a motor. I believe he's on the back straightaway, and smoke just a barreling out of the 47 machine. That is not what you want to see, that black smoke, as he's coming down the back straightaway. Hopefully that's not going to cause a yellow flag here at the Talladega Super Speedway. He's got to stay on the clutch and make sure none of that oil drops. If these officials think that it's going to be able to make it back and not drop enough oil or enough smoke and hamper some of these guys out there in the speedway, we'll just have to wait and see.
Well, we certainly have to wait and see. This updating back from pit road. So Derek Justice come on, get 2 left side tires. There's 2 left side tires to the Troy Higgins machine. Also Donnie Garrett. Those 3 guys came down together last time around. Thought it was them I saw flash by, but it was the 99 of Bernie Mobbs I had down here, but took 2 left side tires. So seeing a lot of left side tires here, Todd. It looks like that blown engine looks like he's going to stay to the low side of the racetrack, and we're going to stay green flag racing. So let's see who's going to come out of this thing.
Yep, green flag racing still out there on the speedway. The 47 now on pit road with the just putting down through pit road. Tough break again for Dale Jr. in that number 47 machine. Motor expiring out there at the Talladega Super Speedway. Hopefully that's not something else that we're going to see come awry with some of these other drivers. Now trying to come up through the field here and trying to look to see who your leaders after they cycle through pit stops. And actually your leader, Matt Ebert, in the number 2 machine, like we were talking about him, the son of Alan Ebert that we've raced with so many times here in the NASCAR 2003 community. He's out there leading this field here, Phil. Right behind him is the ASR Todd machine in that 439. Then you got the 43 of Bob Dixon. And then here comes the 088. I believe that's Greg Lavelle. All kinds of momentum on the top side. He's trying to peek himself into that top 4 position around the number 99 of Bernie Mobbs. He's not going to be able to do so.
No, not able to do so. But let's just highlight that 439 on your screen is ASR Todd. That is Todd Wilson aboard the 439, the Jackson State University machine. That's a terrific looking paint job out there. You know, and somebody named Todd out there running it, you know, at a super speedway up in the top 3. No surprise whatsoever. Great run for Todd Wilson there, that 439. Running in the tire tracks on the 2nd spot, but the outside lane once again, Todd, with that Greg Lovell machine, that 088, they're making waves up there, and they may make a charge toward the race lead as they head toward turn 3.
Yeah, Lovell on the top side of the speedway with help from the 041 of Jerry Walters. You got 31 of Derek Justice right there behind him. But there's only those 3 trucks up on the top side, so they're making some headway for 3 trucks up there, and they're actually using this bump drafting and through the back straightaway. It looks like the 041 of Jerry Walters is a wee bit loose. That's going to give a little bit of way to these guys, but able to just pull up alongside is the 088 of Greg Lavelle, able to pull up alongside that number 439 machine there momentarily, as now he's being able to do so once again. So these guys are putting up one whale of a fight on the top side of the speedway for just 3 trucks, and maybe we'll see a couple other trucks get up there as Cody Ann is now running in that 10th position. He's trying to work over the top side. He's trying to make some moves.
Oh, absolutely trying to make some moves indeed. This top 10 trucks, Todd, it is now a 10 truck breakaway. Really, really puzzling to see. You know, that's now leading that 2nd pack. We saw Chris Hartefelax. He was up there in the top 3. Well, he was the first and only driver to pit out of that top group here in this last round of stops, and that dropped him out of this lead pack, Todd. Chris now back in the 11th position. I think it just shows the strength out here of you got to have a dance partner, and if you're going to be around in a big pack like that, just shows you how much it's a detriment to you to come down there by yourself. Is, you know, Chris, a guy at Talladega who was always near the front, now 13 seconds off the race lead.
Yeah, it's it's early on in the going. 13 seconds off is not that bad there for Chris Hartefelax, but that does go to show you, going down on pit road by himself, no drafting partner to help him, that's tough. And you got these other guys going out here. They're going around here at 193 miles an hour. I'm looking at the tail end of the pack, 194. So now I'm trying to look at some of these other guys, maybe somebody that's not following so close to another driver, like you say, like ASR Smoke's going 197 miles an hour, and some of these guys with a 3-car pack going 190, 191, 189. These 3-car packs versus that lead pack, you just got more trucks up there in that lead pack, and these guys trying to, when they're drafting, it's just so hard to catch them. But Chris Hartefelax right now in that 2nd pack, I don't think his night is over, Phil. I think strategy may be the key. Maybe he was trying to get himself out of the fire.
No, and we'll have to see how that's going to play out, but I think it's just going to show the importance here of, not able to pit. You got to stay with this pack here. If you're up in that lead group, I think it's a no-brainer at this point. But looking up to the front of the field, a new race leader has emerged, the 088 of Greg Lovell, with help of Jerry Walters, his teammate in the 041. Those guys are able to come forward, Todd, but interesting development there. They had a great push on the 31 of Derek Justice, but as soon as those top 2 cleared, they went back to the bottom. They left that 31 out, all hung about to dry, all by his lonesome. Yep,
the old-fashioned ditch and run for these guys out there up front. As they cleared the number 2 of Matt Ebert, got down below him, and they said, "Thank you so much for the help. See you later." Is Derek Justice one of those guys that he's a man on a mission? He's trying to push you. He'll push you up towards the front. But he's actually done it himself. He's been able to, if he gets down to the bottom. These guys work together and they use each other up pretty good at the Talladega Super Speedway. But Derek Justice was trying all he could. He helped those guys out. Those guys just felt the need to come down in front of the number 2, Matt Ebert, and leave Derek up to. And we're all racers, Phil. This is Super Speedway. We remember who we work well with, and what has happened throughout this event, and who you're going to work with. Maybe the shoe's going to be on the other foot here later on in the going, and Derek's not going to be so nice with them.
Well, and absolutely right. And we've seen Derek on DRTV for years and years, and I know Derek has a reputation in the community. One of the fastest drivers you see out there week after week. You see him signing the server. You know he's going to be one of the top guys here tonight. But Rich Patton, I think that plays a role in out there. Derek may not having a whole lot of help, but that may be as part of the reputation kind of playing against him at this point. Guys maybe not wanting to work with him, and he looks like he's a guy out there with no dance partner tonight, and knowing Derek being the good driver he is, if anybody can do it, he certainly can, but it's certainly going to make for a different kind of challenge for him here tonight.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. And let's face it, this is Talladega. We're not even halfway through yet. We're seeing some fantastic racing by these guys already. But there's still a lot of racing to go. There's still a lot of pit stops to go. So it's really kind of early to be too concerned about being up front. Obviously, you don't want to be in the back and get caught in the big one when the big one does come because, let's face it, this is Talladega. But Derek's a smart driver. He's playing his field the way he needs to. He's keeping it safe. Just keeping the front of the field in reach. I don't think anybody's panicking yet, but they certainly are racing like it's towards the end of the race already. I'll give them that.
And Todd, Rich brought the factor, and we always talk about when we come to Talladega, the big one. I mean, it's usually inevitable, but the amount of pit stops we're going to make here tonight, these lead packs may be broken down, every little pit stop a little smaller. You think that's going to take the big one out of the equation here tonight? Are these guys in a smaller pack going to be more cognitive of what's around them and log these laps? Or do you think the racing we're seeing out there may precipitate the big one at some point?
Necessarily, you might see the big one come out there. You're going to have to see what's going to happen with some of these guys. It's going to be interesting. We're going to look at some of these guys as we're coming down the back straightaway. And the big one, like you said, Phil, it could happen at any given point, even with a 12-car pack versus maybe even a 6-car pack. We're going to have to see what happens. We're going to have to see what happens as we're getting ready to go in-car here, and we're going to do kind of like a picture-in-picture. I believe this is going to be on the 2 of Matt Ebert. And we're getting ready as we come down through the trial. We're going to take a ride along here on DRTV with the number 2 of Matt Ebert for a whole lap around the Talladega Super Speedway. And here we go.
All right, back here live on DRTV. A little in-car camera action here from a Talladega Super Speedway, but the pits are open once again around for the third time green flag pit stops here at Talladega. Just looking at the names on and off pit road, I know we saw the 2 on air, in-car camera, the 2 with Matt Ebert. But let's see what the race leader does. The 088 of Greg Lovell coming to his pit stall. Let's see what the 088's going to do. That Extreme Motorsports machine, bringing that down to his crew. He is going to be down on the jack. Let's see what the play is. Is it going to be no tires? Is it going to be 2? It's going to be 2 left side tires for the Craig Lovell machine. The left side's going on. The work about done. The fuel going in. He'll be down and away. And up just ahead, the 99 of Bernie Mobbs. It's going to be at least 2 right side tires, maybe 4. Nope, looks like it's going to be right side. So we saw lefts the last time for the 99. It's right side tires. And all these guys now, Todd, they're all down and away. And a little bit of speed bump leaving pit road.
Yeah, a little bit of speed bump. I was watching number 2 of Matt Ebert as we were actually in his pit stop. We rode down pit road with him. You got a unique look here on DRTV inside the number 2 machine. Then we were still on him here. And we did have right side tires on the number 2 of Matt Ebert. But Phil, what happened down there on pit road? I just seen a spinning truck.
I saw the 99 of Bernie Mobbs just hit the gas, leaving his pit stall and lose the back end. But there was a truck just up ahead of him. Not exactly sure who that was, but somebody got wicked sideways, almost looped that thing all the way around. But, couldn't see from my vantage point who it was. But now updating from pit road, the Troy Higgins machine, the 19 has come in. It looks like it's going to be a gas and go for the 19. Gas and go for Donnie Garrett. Looks like it was 2 left side tires once again for Derek Justice, the 31. Those 3 guys coming down together once again. All that work down and away. They're back racing, guys.
Yeah, indeed, down and away. These guys are back racing. I'm trying to scurry through this field, looking for the race leader. And it's interesting. I believe I just saw a flash of the race leader there momentarily. It was a 070 machine of Wacko, and then the 070 machine. He's currently Wacko. I'm going to call him Wacko tonight. I don't know why I want to call him Wacko, but the 070 machine. He is currently your race leader, staying out here a long time on a green flag run for that 070 machine. Maybe he was hoping to catch a yellow or catch a break there. And that 070 machine, he's still out there leading, trying to figure out who's in that second spot. And the second spot goes all the way back to the T-Man, the number 19 machine. So that's quite a far ways away.
I'm just paying attention to the race leader, on a little bit of fuel strategy here, as I believe the 70 is going to come on pit road next time around. That the 70, of course, if I can find that once again, I lost that on the roster, it's Walt Coburn that's on your screen there is Waco. Walt, and if you look at the sponsor on that thing, and I know Todd down there is hungry and Rich was liking a snack, the Krispy Kreme Chevrolet headed toward pit road out of the race lead. Very different strategy play here, Todd. He stayed out 2 laps longer than anybody else, and if you add that up here tonight, 2 laps here extra, 12 to 13 laps on a tire run. If he makes this thing stretch out over a couple of runs, he may eliminate 1 full pit stop by the end of this thing. That may be a cool play for him.
Yeah, definitely going to be a good play. As we're looking at service on the 070 machine. Looks like left side tires the call on the 070. Going to have to see if we get right side tires on the 070 as we're back up front with the T-Man machine, the number 19 machine, he's your current leader. As the top 20 are currently on the board, as you see, one of our new features here on DRTV, the top 20 on the board here. It's on the left side of your screen. Beautiful. It's going all the way down through. Looking at the top 20, and it does reset here just a little bit, but it's awesome to see some of these new features that Rich has been working really, really hard every day, I'm going to say, trying to come up with some new things here for DRTV, make a fresh look here for DRTV.
And he's absolutely just hit it out of the park here tonight. Some different new graphics, the tickers, the scroller on the left-hand side, the replay stuff. Rich, as always, is knocking it out of the park here. I think that's what makes DRTV stand out amongst the rest. Find us at our home base, drlnetwork.com. Get your league on DRTV. Get Todd, Rich, myself, and even Joe if he's available. Get the 4 of us over to your place and, put on one whale of a time. Great broadcast rates, custom fit to fit all your league's needs now. No league, too big or too small. Get the first class treatment. Get your league in the spotlight. drlnetwork.com is the home of DRTV. This lead pack, Todd, has shrunk from 10 trucks to 7 trucks, but spotlighting that awesome pitch strategy there. That 070 of Walt Coburn, the Waco machine, he's going to be our feature in the next DRTV driver spotlight. So, Rich, take it away.
Yeah, most definitely hit the wrong key there for a second, but keeping our eyes on the 070 of Waco. He's led 3 laps today. He doesn't have a starting position because he didn't qualify, evidently. Highest was 1st, lowest was 28th. Currently sitting 16th. Not the fastest car on the track tonight. He is still running, but good job so far for Waco. As you can see him right now, he doesn't really have any help or friends around him. Got a couple cars coming up behind him. Maybe they can get in line and start pushing towards the front again, but definitely on a different pit strategy than everybody else tonight, guys.
And Rich, bring us up to light, the sponsor on the 070. I know that's going to make you hungry. I think you're a Krispy Kreme fan just as much as I am.
Yeah, definitely like the Krispy Kreme. Don't tell my wife about Krispy Kreme, but she'll be driving down to Tampa to get some more here soon, so we got to keep that on the hush-hush over here.
I don't want to keep it on the hush-hush. If the wife can hear me, I'll take a whole dozen myself, as that sounds fantastic right now, as it's, snack time here on DRTV as we salivate on the Krispy Kremes, or maybe even the plate of lasagna down there in the Stanton household this evening as we let Todd, maybe swallow a bite here, as many of us do as part of these big broadcasts with DRTV. But updating the front of the field, it is Troy Higgins, number 19, to 31 of Derek Justice, currently in that second spot. The 13 of Harry Codian, Todd Wilson, the 439, and Matt Ebert in the number 2. That is your current top 5. Greg Lovell is 6. Bob Dixon currently 7th. It's a 7-truck breakaway from the front of this field. 14 seconds back to 8th place, Bernie Mobbs, the 99. Jerry Walters, the 041. And the Dinger, the 72 of Dinger, he is currently in that 10th spot. Let's see if we can't find Dinger here on the spreadsheet. Maybe we can put a name with the face here. Dinger is Wayne Maydinger. I think it's Maydinger, M-E-I, Maydinger, the number 72. So Dinger out there on the speedway having a great run in the top 10. But as we talked about here, Todd, green flag pit stops may break this field up a little bit more and a little bit more. It went from 11 down to 10, down to the Super 7 at the front of the field. And probably about 3 or 4 laps away from the next round of green flag stops.
Yeah, probably about 3 or 4 laps, and right now we're looking at 21 trucks left on the lead lap. So some of these guys, whether they're having poor pit stops or what's going on, actually now as it resets, they put a few more. A lap down is now the number 92 of Ed Vaughn. I know somebody's out there, Joseph Vaughn's out there cheering him in the chat box, but Ed Vaughn now down 1 lap. He's 19th position, down 1 lap in the rears. Waco is the next guy that would probably be going down a lap. He's got Waco, ASR, Tripp, and Dolson in that 04 machine. Those guys are at the tail end of the lead lap here. Even Chris Harder-Felix, for that matter, not that far away from going a lap down. These guys putting on a torrid pace, 183.753 miles per hour here, being led by the number 19 of T-Man. And then Derek Justice running in that second spot. Third is the 13 of Harry Codian. Fourth is ASR Todd Matt Ebert in that number 2 machine. He is running in that 5th spot. The 088 of Greg Lavelle, Bob Dixon, Burby Mobs, Jerry Walters, and ASR Dinger in that number 72 machine. That is your top 10 as we're getting ready to come up on more lap traffic, and those are in form of Waco, ASR Tripp, and Dolson in that number 04 machine as the leaders are catching them at a torrid pace there, Phil.
Yeah, they're side by side exiting off of turn number 2, and anytime you catch lap traffic at a place like Talladega, when you're doubled up too wide through these corners and down these, the straightaways ain't so bad. When you approach these guys toward the corner, that can certainly make for tricky times and some tough sledding as we see these guys start to back off the throttles a little bit, give these guys extra room and see if they can't negotiate the lap traffic and maybe make their way by. But looks like, Todd, these guys, no damage on any of these machines whatsoever. These guys just lost a draft, and you may see these 3 guys they just caught. They may stick around in this lead pack, and that's just going to make this racing grow even more, and it's going to get even more dicey up there as we're seeing 3 wide in the middle of that field.
Yeah, and the meat and the sandwich is a 31 of Derek Justice. He was right there in the middle of everything going on there, and that had to make for a nerve-wracking experience. Again, 3 wide in the middle, the 04 down on the bottom. Derek Justice right there giving Lavelle hardly any room to come down and make a mistake in that 088 machine, and Lavelle and Derek Justice drafting side by side there momentarily. Now Lavelle going to drop to the back. And remember, Lavelle ditched the number 31 machine. Well, there's payback. There's Derek Justice now moves in front of Lavelle, not helping the 088 machine. Now Derek Justice moving up into the 5th spot as we got a couple of guys coming down on pit road. I'm trying to work my way down through there. Looks like the 86 of Jim Black, the 24 of ASR Tripp, Mertz, and I believe that's Dolson. These guys just went down the lap to your leaders. They're down on pit road to get service.
Now let's see if we can't follow one of these guys along. Let's see if we can't follow Don Dolson there in that number 04 machine, that Paramount Landscaping Incorporated machine. Don bringing it to the attention of his crew, revving the engine. Looks like it was 2 right side tires in his end. Also looks like 2 right side tires for Jim Black on this end of pit road, Todd. Also looks like 2 right side tires. I believe that was Frank Gibbons on this end of pit road as we let Todd, you hear him swallowing some more dinner down there as we kind of keep our eye toward pit road as, these guys work their way back up and down. Let's see if we can't cover more of these green flag pit stops as they flash by. Didn't see anybody come on as far as this time around, but we'll see if these guys get sorted out. And as Rich says in my ear, caution flag coming onto the speedway, and I'm seeing a few drivers around through the grass, cutting the grass here at the Talladega Super Speedway. So we'll let Rich get sorted out and get the first DRTV replay of the night. But incident out there, I saw the 99 of Bernie Mobbs is driving away. Also seeing the 041 of Jerry Walters. Tough break for Jerry, who was having a terrific run once again on DRTV. His night may go up in smoke as he was down to the infield. But Todd, not sure what you caught of that. I know you're stuffing food down there, but what did you catch in that wreck? Anything there?
Well, like you said, I caught Bernie Mobbs involved in that wreck later on in the going, later portions of it. A lot of these guys coming down on and off pit road, lots of different strategies, and it looked like the 416 machine came up the track, and I'm going to let Rich explain that one because that was interesting. It looked like it kind of got loose, but I could not catch most of it. But I know the 416 machine came up on the track. Not sure what ensued after the fact and who else was involved in there, but I know there's quite a few trucks involved in that wreck. And that's going to bring out the first yellow flag here at the Talladega Super Speedway, and we're halfway, Phil.
50 of 94 up on the board. Some terrific racing by these guys at the All-Star Racing League. You can find these guys AS Racing N2K3.net. No, that's kind of a tongue twister there, but it's AS Racing N2K3.net is how you find David Shin, Gary Mingus, and all the guys over here. Nelson Rodriguez, he does a great job over here, known as ASR Postal. All these guys do a fantastic job over here at ASR, having a great time here. I know we were a little late getting on the air this evening, had a couple of gremlins that kept us from getting this race underway in a timely fashion, but these guys certainly delivering up to the goods here on DRTV tonight. Average speed of the race still well over 184 miles per hour. Slowed by our first caution flag of the night, Rich Patton. 50 laps into the event. Show us what happened out there.
Yeah, definitely, guys. As the DRTV instant replay camera comes back up to play, we are watching the 416. We're going to call him ASR Trip to keep nicknames simple for the race fans. And here's what's happening. He's coming out of the pits. We're going to go ahead and play this at full speed motion until things get a little crazy, which is right here. He comes up on the track. The rest of the field is getting ready to come by him. As you can see right there, Ebert in the 2 is a little low. The 416 may have come up a little bit high into him. They make contact. That's going to send the 416 sideways down into the apron. But guess what? He's in the corner. So that means he's coming back up the track, and he's going to come right up in front of the 24 as well. The 24 hits him right in the door. Looks like everybody else is able to get around him. Doesn't look like anybody else, anyone other cars are involved in this one. But tough break for that 24 and the 416. And, that's Talladega. You coming out of the pits and a big pack's coming by you. Somebody's got to give. Back to you guys.
All right, so back here at the Talladega Super Speedway, under the first caution flag of the night, we're going to see these guys come on and off pit road to get their fresh tires, get these things full of fuel. But while they do that, we'll reset the field, and we'll take a quick break here on DRTV. These guys at ASR gave us a couple of commercial spots, and we're going to play one for you here right now. We'll be right back.
Looking for a used car? Afraid you won't qualify? At Bryant Motorsports, everyone is approved. Bryant Motorsports has financing for everyone. No credit check, no employment check. But hurry, there's only funding for 30 deals this month. Monthly payments as low as $200 and down payments as low as $500. Plus, in-house financing. Visit BryantMotorsportsAutoSales.com. Browse the inventory, check the Carfax, and come in for a test drive. Cars are going fast. Bryant Motorsports Auto Sales, locally owned and operated on High Street in Portsmouth.
All right, we're back here at the Talladega Super Speedway. Thanks to all the clan over here at ASR, these great commercial spots here tonight. I know our presenting sponsors here tonight, Best Logistics being the title sponsor, Best Logistics Inc. sponsoring the 250-lap race here at the Talladega Super Speedway. Been a tremendous race here so far. A lot of great racing action, a lot of green flag pit stops, and slow during the fourth round of the green flag stops, right smack in the middle, wouldn't you know. The first caution flag of the night, 51 of 94 laps up on the board. And Todd, we saw this main pack. It got broken down a little bit, down to 7 trucks strong. Had some lappers down in there, but with this caution flag, that's going to bring maybe as far as 20 drivers now back to the lead lap. And business, I think, here in the second half of this race, Todd, it's about to pick up.
Yeah, definitely about to pick up, and I'm just trying to wonder if they do have a lucky dog here tonight, Phil, or if they allow wave arounds or something to that effect, or do you want to chance it and take that wave around and try to get back on the lead lap? Those are all questions that we're going to have answered here. I know there's guys down in the YouTube chat box trying to get these questions answered and trying to see what's going on with these guys. If there's a lucky dog, I know Joseph Vaughn's down there in the chat box. He's pulling for Ed Vaughn, and right now on the tail end of the lead lap is Ed Vaughn. So I believe maybe these guys will get a wave around, but I'm not sure how it goes there. Phil, do you?
Not quite so sure. We'll see if we maybe can't get race control here at some point and see how the rule set goes. I know the first trip for us here for the DRL Network over to the All-Star Racing Clan. So as we get more acclimated to how these guys are with the way of the land, we'll have to learn more about these guys. So riding around under this caution flag, 52 laps of 94 on the board. Let's do a quick field reset here before we get back to green flag racing. It's the 31 of Derek Justice with the current race lead. The 13 of Harry Cody Todd Wilson, the 439. Matt Ebert in the 2. Troy Higgins, the 19. That's your current top 5. Greg Lovell, the 6th. Bob Dixon, 7th. Stanley in the 05 is 8th. Donnie Garrett is 9th. Gary Mingus is in there in that 10th spot. The Dinger currently in the 11th position. Jerry Walters is 12th. Bernie Mobs 13th. David Chin 14th. And Waco, the number 070, currently 15th. Postal, that's Nelson Rodriguez, a 7. He is currently 16th. Ed Vaughn is 17th. Slowpoke out there in the 18th position. Don Dolson in the 04, he's 19th. And Greg Artlip, I couldn't find it. Greg Artlip to 98. That is your current top 20. Those guys are 1 lap down, as is Mike Ireland, the 00. Chris Hartafielax, the 96. Daryl Pace in the 66. They're all 1 lap down. Connor Metz is 24th in the 24 machine. He is 2 laps down, as is Jim Black in the 86. Berge in the 81. He is also 2 laps down in 26. The number 14 of ASR Smoke, he is 27th. He is 3 laps in the rears. Frank Divins is 4 laps down aboard the number 9. Didn't expect to see Frank this far behind here tonight at Talladega. He is the last truck running, 28th position. Tripp the 416. We've seen the most recent caution. He is going to be behind the wall, as is Dale Solinsky there, the 47. He is also out of the event, an ignition expiring there. And also Scott Geiswhite, the 56. He's called it a night. So we had 31 drivers take the green flag here. We are past the halfway marker. 53 laps up on the board, and I believe the lights are out on top of DRTV pace fan here, Todd. And not sure. I believe I see a couple of these guys take a wave around. Am I not right?
I'm not sure. I didn't see anybody take a wave around. Phil, I see ASR Postal and Ed Vaughn. Those guys did not take a wave around. They are in front of your leaders. They're on the tail end of the lead lap, but I didn't see them take a wave around. They're right here, right behind the DRTV pace fan. It looks like Derek Justice may have went down pit road too. He's mired back 14th, Phil. And same way with Jerry Walters, 13th. So those guys that were up towards the front of the field now back in the middle portion of the pack. But like I said, Ed Vaughn and ASR Postal, those guys on the tail end of the lead lap, as you're seeing them right there behind the DRTV pace fan. We're going to have to see what happens and see if these guys, I know they're not getting their lap back, so it must be they have to earn it the hard way. So they're hoping for a quick yellow. That is why they stay out here on the field.
Oh, well, I guess that's going to be the way of the land. Looks like a single file restart. Lap cars to the inside, but looks like the likes of Derek Justice and Jerry Walters, as you said, those guys with this short pit frequency of 12 laps this evening, they elect to come to pit road and top off. That could make, pay off in their favor here in a couple of laps or so, but the pace fan is in, awaiting the green flag, and green flag is in the air.
Flag is indeed in the air. Postal out to the early advantage here, but that is because he is in the 15th position. So we have to go back. We have Postal, we have Ed Vaughn, we have Slowpoke out there. Those guys are on the tail end of the lead lap. The leader is actually the number 13 machine of Harry Codian, and now the 92 bounces off the wall just a little bit. That's Vaughn bouncing off the wall in the number 92 machine, but he's able to keep it straight. Looks like it did check up though. Second place running, I believe that was the second place running, number 439 of ASR Todd, trying to get a nice look at that 439 machine. As right now I'm riding on board with the 04 of ASR Dolson. But these guys 3 wide here momentarily on the start. Here comes the number 2 of Matt Ebert, way up on the top shelf of the speedway, down through the trial with that number 2 machine. He's trying to make that work. Matt Ebert not able to pull off the pass there through the trial, but he might have the momentum coming down the front straightaway into turn number 1. Matt Ebert way up top, and he has help. Oh, the 92 around hard into the wall, right in front of the field. The number 92 hard into the outside wall.
Yeah, and another secondary wreck just after that. Multiple cars going around off of turn number 2. And that's no doubt going to put us on our caution flag now for the second time here tonight. And, not quite, you're not sure if that's going to constitute as the big one, but anytime you get out here racing on the restart at Talladega, 2 and 3 wide racing, something bound to happen. And it sure did there, Todd, through turn 1 that time.
Yeah, how in the world did Matt Ebert able to keep his hands on the steering wheel and able to stay out of that wreck, as he got hit really, really hard after contact from the wall there by the 92. The 92 came and did a glancing blow off the side of the number 2 machine, but then they went back around. So it was interesting to see Matt Ebert able to hold on to that machine in the number 2 machine, but we were racing back here. So tough break for Ed Vaughn. Looked like he got a little bit out of shape in the number 92 machine, pounding the outside wall. He was trying to take it down, but you cannot win with those concrete barriers here at the Talladega Super Speedway. waiting waiting on Mr. TV Time Rich Patton to get the yellow flag queued up and ready for everybody down there in YouTube land so you can see what happened. It was a big crash here at the Talladega Super Speedway as Phil stepped out for a moment to grab a glass of water. He forgot his favorite beverage when he started this show, and that's why I always remind everybody at the beginning of the shows to not forget your favorite beverage, because you're not going to want to leave your seats. And again, Phil, leaving the seat to go get his beverage. I got 2 or 3 lined up right here in front of me. So it's going to be interesting to see what these guys are going to do. Are these guys going to come down on pit road? Are they going to take some more tires, or are they going to top off on field? But Mr. TV Time's ready with the replay queued up. What happened out there, Rich?
Yeah, some of our race fans watching this live here on DRTV are probably not going to like what they're about to see. We're going to keep the cameras focused on the 92 at Ed Vaughn as we play this out in slow motion. It looks like, they're jumbled up. They're trying to go 3 wide. Ed Vaughn, the 92, makes contact with the 8. That's going to send the 92 sideways out towards the wall. You see it correctly, guys. The red truck right there, the 13, your race leader, Harry Codine, he is also going to be taken out of this event. There you go, the 92. He almost gets a full roof surf in there. He finally spins it back around. You can see also the 13 of Codine up there against the wall backwards also. The 92 is getting all jumbled up. The 5 is all jumbled up. The 41's all jumbled up. It's just mayhem up here in the corner. Let's back this camera out just so the race fans can see all the chaos going on. We'll back this up and let it play out as it goes through in full speed motion. We'll go ahead and start it right there, play it forward for you. Unbelievable. There's quite a few trucks involved in this one, and this took out your race leader, gang. Tough break for that 13 as well. Back to you guys.
Yeah, certainly a tough break for Harry Codine there at number 13. Anytime we come to the big super speedways here, Todd, Harry always a factor, and certainly was here tonight. Not sure how much damage done to that number 13 machine, but if you see the fenders pointed straight on it, you can bet at number 13, Harry Codine, he's going to do all he can to try to march back forward.
Yeah, definitely going to try to march back forward as Harry Codine, and that's one of those things. It's in the wrong place, the wrong time. Talladega Super Speedway swallows you up, and I've heard a lot of rumors about this track, Phil, and grave sites being built on grave sites, ancient burial grounds. That's why it tears up trucks or cars, for that matter. And I've heard a lot of rumors. I'm not sure on how much of the rumors are actually true, but they used to call this track like Talladega. A lot of the guys, a lot of the fans down towards Alabama actually used to call it that because they believed it was built on an Indian burial ground. And I haven't really looked into that. I know Rich has all kinds of facts here for Talladega, but I don't know if that's one of them.
I don't know, Rich, can you enlighten us on that one? Because that was the first time I ever heard that one before when that came across the production meeting this afternoon. But is that true?
Yeah, if you guys want to read some interesting facts about this track also is, it's also known that you can ask any of the professional NASCAR drivers about the Talladega jinx. It's a real thing out there, and a lot of people say that very weird things happen out and about when they're out at this track for the weekend races that they have here. And one of the beliefs is that they actually built this on an old Indian burial ground. And I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what I read today. And they seem to think that that's the reason why all these quirky, weird things happen at this track, because some very weird stuff happens here to the real NASCAR drivers, supposedly. So kind of good read. You should look it up. What is the Talladega jinx? It's quite interesting.
Well, I thought the Talladega jinx for years was being out there with Todd Stanton and probably being chrome-horned and shoehorned out of the way one of these things. But, maybe I'm wrong, Todd. Maybe I was wrong about you, and maybe I put the hurt on you for far too long. So my broadcast partner, my good buddy, I'm sorry I put that on you for all these years. I guess this curse, according to Rich, it's a real thing.
Oh, I guess so. It is a real thing there, Phil. I'm not sure. Like I said, I heard it was just a rumor, and I heard it was one of those things that was just going on, some kind of jinx. But Talladega jinx, I guess I'm gonna have to go do some reading on the Talladega Super Speedway.
Well, that'll make for some interesting times, for no doubt certain. These guys all pulling on and off pit road. No doubt want to top these things off full of fuel here and see if we can't make another nice long sprint as we head toward the checkered flag of listing. 58 of 94 laps up on the board. Seeing all these lap cars, Todd, they kind of all going to have their way of being right in the middle of this thing. But the current race leader is that Todd Wilson machine, that number 439. Matt Ebert, the 2, currently second. Troy Higgins of the 19 is currently third. The nature boy, Donnie Garrett, he's found his way up to that 4th spot. And DJ Derek Justice at number 31. He's brought that Baskin-Robbins machine back from the outside the top 10, currently residing in the top 5, but looks like the lights are going to stay on the DRTV Pace fan, so hopefully this time by they're going to go out and put this thing back under green in one more circuit around this 2.66 mile Talladega Super Speedway. But so far, the racing here tonight, you know, we've been talking to Gary Mingus and all these guys a lot over these last couple of weeks. They were all super excited to get out here live on the airwaves tonight, said they were going to put on one spectacular race for us. And certainly through the first 50 laps, these guys certainly living up to the billing. And, you know, as Gary said, on April the 9th, we come back here to ASR at the Michigan International Speedway. So I think we're going to see some really great racing. A lot of great stuff these guys are doing at All-Star Racing.
Yeah, definitely a lot of great stuff that they are doing here in All-Star Racing. A lot of different, like you said, mods, different stuff that they have going on. It looks like van lights are out atop the DRTV Pace fan. We will be going back to racing here in the next 3/4 of a lap as ASR Todd is your current race leader. And you got a couple of guys out front once again. Those guys laps down to number 9 of Frank Divins, also ASR Berge, and that number 81 machine also laps down in the rears. So these guys are going to start. So it's going to be a little bit of a different look again on DRTV. These guys line up behind the Pace fan, and then your lead cars are going to be behind the cars that are not on the lead lap in the form of the number 81 and the form of the number 9 of Frank Divins. Divins down 2 laps in the rears. And he, I think, Phil, didn't you say he was 4 laps down not too long ago?
Yeah, Frank Divins was 4 laps down. In the last rundown we did here, he was 28th, 4 laps down. I believe what we got here now, Todd, he's going to start in front of the race leader on the tail end of 3 laps down. Currently going to be scored unofficially 2 laps down, but he's going to have the race leader right there. But Frank doing all he can to try to march his way forward. Still got a lot of racing here left to go at Talladega. We got 35 laps here left to go, so that's many circuits to do. A lot of different things can happen. And if Frank can maybe play the benefit of a caution, maybe earn laps back the hard way, you never know. Frank knows his way around Talladega. He could find that Extreme Motorsports machine right back into the fray of this thing. Is the field now working its way off of turn number 4. Going to turn the field back over now to the 439. Todd Wilson, your race leader. Matt Ebert in the 2. Got lap traffic just ahead, so lap traffic definitely going to play a role toward the tail end of this thing. The 81 ASR Berge going to restart in that lap down late on the inside, so trucks making their way through the triangle. The 9 of Frank Divins looks like he's going to pace the outside lane back to the green flag, awaiting the starter to unfurl that green. You know, the start-finish line at Talladega. Down offset turn number 1 down the end of the triangle. Third down toward the end, waiting for the green flag. Todd, green flag in the air.
Yeah, late green flag, but it is in the air here at the Talladega Super Speedway. Looks like the number 81, he's going to go to the back. Frank Divins able to stay out in front of your leader, but I'm not sure that's going to last too long. And then number 9 machine, ASR Todd, already looking down to the bottom side in that 439 machine. The number 2, Matt Ebert, right there behind him, following in his tire tracks, almost right to his rear bumper. Looks like there's maybe bump draft down here. Down the back, straight away, the number 2 of Matt Ebert. They make short work of the number 9 of Frank Divins, put him back down 3 laps in that number 9 machine. Really slow, and they split him 3 wide. The 77 of Donnie Garrett, the Nature Boy, now up to the 3rd spot in that number 77 machine. These guys, all kinds of different things going on through the field. You got 2, 3 wide here, all kinds of craziness with these lap down trucks.
It's certainly going to make a different dynamic here, but these guys in that lead pack try to march their way forward. It's Todd Wilson, that 439, your current race leader. Matt Ebert in the 2, the 77 of Donnie Garrett, Bob Dixon, the 43, and now Greg Lovell, the 088. He's found his way back to the top 5. All those guys looking to try to clear them way of the lap cars. The first 4 have done it. It's the 088 of Greg Lovell, Todd, who did not clear the 9 machine of Frank Divins. So the 9 of Divins, he's going to fall 5th truck in line, but he's still 3 laps down to the field. Lap traffic certainly going to play a role here in these closing laps at Talladega.
Yeah, lap traffic definitely going to play a key role, probably determining factor here. And the reason why a lot of these guys are lapped down up in front of the leaders, beside the leaders, they're staying out. they're staying out, and now we have a yellow flag out there on the field, but they are staying out. I'm going to finish this here momentarily. They are staying out in front of your leaders. As the leaders come down pit road, they're actually staying out, so they're chancing it to try to get their laps back the hard way, sort of like what NASCAR used to do out there when they had the NASCAR Winston Cup Series, and may I say when they actually had to earn the right to do some of the different stuff that they had to do. They had to earn their way back onto the lead lap the hard way. They didn't have a lucky dog back then. They didn't have a wave around back then. So these guys trying to do it the hard way, and that's why you see the lap cars up there mixing it up here with the lead lap trucks.
Yeah, back under yellow flag here the third time tonight. Definitely a strange incident there, working its way through turn number 2. The 05 of Stanley, not sure what happened there. All of a sudden, that thing just looked like just an alien just reached out and maybe grabbed that thing. Not sure if there was contact there or what happened, Rich Patton. I believe you got a better look with the replay, so show us what happened there. That was a strange incident.
Yeah, this was crazy. It almost reminds me of that NASCAR race that happened a couple weeks ago where a car just kind of spun in the corner for no reason whatsoever. But we're going to keep our eyes on the 05, known as Stanley in the ticker. True name is Ken Smith, but we'll call him Stanley. This is unbelievable. Now, to get the impression of what happened, race fans, I'm going to play this back at full speed, and then we'll back it up and slow it to you in slow motion again. This is unreal. He's the red and white truck on the top, the 05. Here we go. Playing through, and all of a sudden, boom, just spun. Did you guys see that? It's absolutely crazy. We'll back this up. We'll go in slow motion. Just out of nowhere. No contact. Not sure a tire went down or what, but that thing just spun the rear end out to the right-hand side of him. He's riding up on the wall on 2 wheels as he finally comes down towards the apron in reverse, or at least pointing in reverse. Unbelievable how that truck just all of a sudden let go and spun around. Tough break for Ken in the 05. Back to you guys.
All right, back up here in the DRTV control booth. Again, hijinks behind the scenes up here. Todd and I just love to bust on each other here as Rich does these replays. And as we look at that 05 machine, not sure, Rich said a tire going down or something going amiss there. Almost looks like, somebody at that point could have threw a quarter, Todd. You don't see things like that there happen often. That was a very strange looking incident. And, unfortunately for the Marlboro man here tonight, Ken Smith on your screen as Stanley in the 05. Looks like some heavy damage to that thing onto the left side, but certainly a strange occurrence there. What put him around? There was no contact out there. Just one of them strange things that happen. I mean, as Rich said, weird things happen at Talladega, and that one is definitely the one that we can check off in the strange department.
That is actually, yeah. That's part of the Talladega Jinx, as Rich was saying. Talladega Jinx striking here on DRTV, and maybe even a banana peel out there on the speedway. I don't know if somebody had some muscle cramps and was eating some bananas and throwing peels out in the speedway. Now I'm seeing contact here made on the speedway once again under yellow flag. I believe the number 8, and I can't remember who else, or can't see who else that other truck was. A little bit of contact made out there. These guys rubbing just a little bit, but again, I'm not sure. Talladega Jinx for the 05 of Stanley. Maybe a banana peel, something. We're going to just give it and knock it off to that Talladega Jinx here tonight.
No, definitely that was a strange incident indeed. So that's going to put us on a yellow flag number 3 tonight. And of course, the first time we come over to the All-Star Racing group here tonight, we got to say hello to our good friend, Mr. David Shin. No, he's been a supporter here for us on DRTV for a long time, the owner of ASR. So, David, it's Phil from DRTV, my friend. How you doing this evening?
Doing pretty good there, Todd. How you doing, buddy?
Well, this is Phil up here in the booth, David. Doing great up here. You guys certainly putting on a great show through the first 50 laps. Now we've been slowed by a little bit of caution flag here through the middle section of this race, but tell us how it's been out there racing in traffic. Looks like it's been certainly a good time.
Oh, it's a blast. It's lost track position there in the beginning. Lost the draft on a checkup, but dodged a couple wrecks there, and I think we're going to be okay.
Yeah, how's that truck handling in traffic? No, you guys have certainly been out there 2-wide racing. We're seeing a third line come in. We're also seeing lap traffic play a role in this thing. So what do you think the different things we're going to kind of see here in these last 30 laps?
I think the last 30 you're going to see a lot of 3-wide.
Well, we certainly like that indeed. Well, David, on behalf of all of us here on the network, we certainly appreciate you bringing us over here for the first time, and can't wait to come back in a couple of weeks in Michigan. But for our viewers out there who may be watching and may be exposed to All-Star Racing for the first time, tell everybody out there how they can get involved.
Go to asracingnn2k3.net. Check out our website. Anybody's welcome to race with us. We're an open server, 7 nights a week. We welcome any drivers from any league, any night.
Well, David, once again, on behalf of Todd, Rich, myself, thanks for having us this evening, and give that Indian a good ride here the rest of the night. It's a beautifully prepared looking truck, and hope to see that thing up near the front. So good luck, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
All right, that's David Chin, the owner of the All-Star Racing League over here. So gracious to bring us over here for the first time this evening, as we're now 2/3 the way here home there, Todd. But looks like a new race leader has emerged. The 43 of Bob Dixon there, Todd, with the race lead.
Yeah, it's interesting to see as we do have a special viewer out there, Alan Ebert. We know he's out there, and he's been poking at us here just a little bit. And I almost think he needs an interview, and I think that warrants an interview here on DRTV, Phil.
All right, well, while we get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing, we're talking about Alan Ebert poking us here on the side of our TeamSpeak communication. Let's see if Alan's got his ears on. Alan, Phil LaCasse of DRTV, my old friend, how are you? Oh, going to be a little bit of gun shy. Alan Ebert, do you have your ears on, my friend? Well, being certainly gun shy with us up here in the booth is Alan Ebert, but I know he's out there watching. He's been poking us here behind the scenes, and stop talking about the Talladega jinx and whatnot. So I guess here, Todd, he's saying that's superstitious. We certainly don't want to do that. And I think Rich and Todd, I know you guys also go back a long way with Alan. Certainly a guy, a few words. I know he's been poking us, having some fun with us, but he's a guy you put on the spot. He's not one who likes to talk out an open channel, and we see that once again, Rich. I know you go back an awful long time with Alan.
Yeah, Alan's, I always think of him as a good buddy of mine, and, he's, I don't say this to a lot of people, but I guess I am now today live on TV, but he basically taught me how to get around Michigan, and I kid you not, I must have picked up a good 1.5 to 2 seconds faster a lap just by listening to what he told me. The guy knows this game, and he's very fast on the track. He's not a big talker on TeamSpeak usually. He doesn't like to talk. He stays concentrated. But very down-to-earth guy, and I'm sure he's out here watching live on DRTV tonight. I believe it's his son out here racing in the number 2 today. So good to see Alan out and about. Haven't seen him in a long time. Trying to keep up with him on Facebook every once in a while, but yeah, good to see him out here again.
The Iceman, Alan Ebert. Todd, I know you go back many years circling these racetracks with Alan Ebert.
many years for Alan Ebert. He's beat me pretty much just about all the time, and he taught me quite a few things out there at NASCAR 2003. I can't say that he hasn't. And they call him Nice Man for a reason. He is a man of few words, and they used to interview that stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see. Alan, I know you're clamming up and was not prepared for that, but we're not prepared. We're not prepared for your poke, so we're making you unprepared for everything else. Get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing once again here at the Talladega Super Speedway. And now the green flag is back in the air. We're racing here once again at the Talladega Super Speedway. Lap and a half to get up to full song.
As they head toward turn 1, there's the 43 of Bob Dixon, your current race leader, the 99 of Bernie Mobbs, the 2 of Matt Ebert, the son of Alan Ebert now, who I believe is going to join us in the booth. Alan, my friend, you got your ears on, buddy. It's been a long time.
10-4, guys. I got my ears on.
Well, Alan, good to talk to you, man. Great to see, your son Matt out there on the racetrack with you, but, we come over here at ASR, we've heard your name over associated with this group for a long time. When are we going to see you out on the racetrack here again?
I don't know. I showed up a few times once this year already. My son wants me to keep on coming over there. It's just Sunday nights is not my thing, and Mondays is not really my good thing because I got a league race going on, and I got done with that and hurried up, come over here and watch him race and see how he's doing.
Yeah, Matt or Alan, this is Rich down here in the control booth, and we're keeping our eyes on your buddy there, Matt, or your son there, Matt, and he's doing pretty good out here on this big track. But you know yourself, it's Talladega. Anything can happen out here.
Yeah, he knows he's going to get slapped in the head if he wrecks somebody because he's got a lot of slaps in the head when he was being in training, I guess I should call it.
So are you training him the way you drive, or are you training him to be safe, or are you training him to win? What's the key there? Because I'm sure everybody wants to hear a little bit of the evil secret.
A little bit of safety. You can't win them all on the first lap. You can't win it on the 10th lap. And the 15th lap, then you go for it. That's all I can give you.
Roger that, Alan. I'm going to leave you with these guys. I got to get busy. They just threw a yellow flag out there on the track again, so I got to get some research going on here and get ready for the race fans. But it's great talking to you again, buddy.
10-4, man.
All right, good to catch up with Alan Eber. You know, a character who's been in this community for a very, very long time. You know, I know he's taught us a lot here, Todd. I know we still have him up here in the booth. I know you haven't talked to Alan in quite a while, but Todd, we call him the Iceman for a reason. I'm going to let you pick his brain a little bit as we're under caution here. I'm going to let Rich get sorted out with a replay. But what do you got for our friend Alan?
I don't got much for Alan, besides you beat my rear all the time. But Alan, it's great to see you. It's great to your sense of humor. always having a sense of humor.
I'll keep that down a little bit. We're live.
Yeah, so I mean that's you've been watching this race so far. How do you think the strategy call is going to go here? I mean, I'm going to throw it out to you. I know you've turned many laps at Talladega. Not only that, but other tracks.
It's like first half is okay, and then everybody gets warmed up, and everybody gets antsy right about halfway, and then you get to about 30 to go, and I always call it the dirty 30. You're always getting cut off, or you get spun, or something like that. You just got to keep your nose clean in that last 30 laps. And that's basically what, if you can make it to 30 to go, you're pretty much in. Hopefully you're in the top 10 by then.
A little bit of insight here from you, Alan, and it's great to hear you out here, and glad to see you fishing. I keep it tuned to you on Facebook. Glad to see you out there fishing and having a ball.
Yeah, I just got back from a fishing trip from Lake Gohibic up in the UP. It's like 14 inches of snow, and it was -2 degrees and wind chill of -15. It was cold.
How better you than me going out there in that cold weather. I'll take to the warm waters in the middle of summer.
Oh yeah, I like that warm water too, but that ice fishing's something else. You gotta do her. That's just thrilling. We used to sleep out on the ice. It just costs too much money with propane and all that stuff, and you get sick. You suck too much of that propane fumes in.
Well, Alan, as always, great to talk to you again, my friend. And we certainly hope to catch you out on the racetrack here sometime soon. Good to hear your voice, and keep in touch, old friend. It's been quite a long time.
Well, thank you, gentlemen, for having me and everything coming up here. And I'm just sat here watching, and you guys do a hell of a show, man. I like it.
All right. Well, that's our old friend Alan Ebert, gracious enough to join us up here in the booth, and a little bit of insight. We all go back a long ways with Alan. We've all raced him for a long time, but Rich Patton, we're under yellow flag now for the 4th time here tonight. I did not see what happened, but I certainly know you did, so show us what happened.
Yeah, we're going to keep our eyes on that 05 of Stanley, or the camera's going to stay focused on him. There's some interesting things that happen right in front of him that he's going to end up being the culprit of this. So we're going to go ahead and play this through slow motion. We're going to keep our eyes on that green and black truck right in front of him. That's the 04. He's going to come down on the 77. That's Donnie Garrett. And look at that. The 04 goes across his nose. Donnie Garrett moves up. The 04 comes back around him, taps the 05 on the back left quarter panel. And that's going to send the 05 down into the infield. Going to mow the grass down there for us for a little bit. But unbelievable. Did you guys see how that truck went around Donnie Garrett's machine? We're going to go ahead and rewind this back, and we're going to go ahead and play it in full speed motion so you guys can see that. Unbelievable how that truck just went right around that 77 machine. Donnie Garrett moves up. There goes the 5. He gets dumped. You couldn't have called that. The 5 didn't see it coming at all, I'm sure. Just amazing. Back to you guys.
All right. Somewhere in there, the 77 evolved. There's got to be an Astroglide joke in there somewhere, Todd, but I just can't find it this time around. But tough break for Stanley. That 05, that Marlboro truck, certainly a great-looking ride. And Stanley's a guy, he's been here at ASR for a long time, one of the heavy hitter front runners over here. And certainly tough when we come over here for the first time, see him all tore up to pieces again.
Yeah, that's tough. It's a tough ride, tough situation to happen, and I don't have any type of joke. I'm not going to throw any type of joke out there. As mine are most generally pretty lame. It's Rich is always shouting in our ear to keep this clean, Phil, and that's what we pride ourselves on here at DRTV, keeping everything clean and even green and good green flag racing and keeping everything. At least PG-13,
Well, I'll tell you one thing that certainly ain't clean. I'm going to ask our partner, Mr. TV Time, Rich Patton. Rich, if you could focus on the front of this field under caution flag, who doesn't like ice cream and Coke altogether? Well, you got Derek Justice and Chris Harder. Felix now worked his way up to position number 2. He's brought that Coca-Cola Chevrolet. Now, we saw him run up front early on. We saw him fall back on a different strategy. Fell out of the first pack, was back mired 15 seconds in the rears, and he's played the caution flags to his advantage, finds himself in contention here as we get under these last 25 laps of this event. The Dinger currently in that 3rd spot. Nelson Rodriguez, the number 7. ASR Postal on your screen, currently 4th. And Bernie Mobbs, the 99, currently having a great run in that 5th spot. But as we see the van head off of turn 4, seeing our race leaders start to peak on back to pit road here, Todd. Now we look at the laps clicking up. It's going to be 71 of 94 this time around. So, that may be somewhere in the vicinity of about 20 to 21 laps. I think if these guys come in and top off now, it may be a one more pit stop race from here. Is my math correct?
Yeah, it should be about a one more pit stop race. Those guys topping off. We'll see what's going to happen with some of these guys. I'm following Derek Justice this time. And the number 31 machine is now, it blips over here, but it looks like he's just getting fuel only. Aboard that Baskin-Robbins sponsor machine, he is down and away, getting every ounce of fuel that he can in that number 31 machine. He is going to try to make it on one more stop. I believe all these guys that came down pit road are going to try to make it on one more stop. I'm already hearing Derek clutch in that number 31 machine.
Well, Rich, you're not sure? Can they make it for one more stop on here? I mean, my math says 23 laps to go. I mean, that's one pit stop, isn't it? Or do you think that's 2?
I think they're going to have to stop one more time after this. We were originally under the impression that they may get 18 to 20, 21 laps out of a tank. But, they proved us wrong pitting early. And I believe that was, lap 13. I think we saw one car stay 2 laps further out. So I'm thinking they probably can't get more than 15, 16 laps on a tank of fuel. So even if everybody pits right now, I don't think anybody's going to make it. I think everybody's going to have to come in one more time. Unless, they've just been pulling the sheets over our eyes or something. I haven't seen them do that all night long, so I don't think it's going to happen. I think we're going to see one more green flag pit if this thing goes green to the end.
Well, that's what I was trying to lead you there, too. It's going to be at least one more stop in here. I don't think it's going to be any less than one more stop. I mean, the math is, 21 laps on the board. Fuel running about 13 to 14 laps, so it's going to be at least one more pit stop from here. I think we can say, Todd, one stop from here, these guys will make the checkered flag. Now the question is, do you cut this run in half and wait till you in that window, or are you apt to let this thing run out at this point? What do you think you would do as we ready to restart?
You're pretty much at the mercy of what's going to go on with your drafting partners or whoever is going to go on, and we're going to have to just wait and see what these guys are going to do. Van is off. We're getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Let's see what the flagger is this time, because he was a little delayed last time. We were almost at the start-finish line before we got that green flag the last time. Bernie Mobbs is your race leader. Get ready to go back to green flag racing, and the flagger has the green flag in hand, and it is waving, and we're back to green flag racing. Bernie Mobbs leading the pack here with the number 43, sitting right there in that second spot. That's Bob Dixon. He is all over the rear bumper of the 99 of Bernie Mobbs. And then you got in third spot the 041 of Jerry Walters, having another good run at a super speedway in that 041 machine. He is right now currently running third in that 041 machine.
Yeah, Jerry, as you said, having a great run. Another guy having a good run we haven't talked a whole lot about tonight, the Slowpoke. That's Wayne Hawk in that number 8. That's a beautifully prepared number 8 truck. The sponsor on that thing, GM Good Rent Service. That is a terrific looking truck. That number 8 machine pulling up to the outside lane, now being freight trained by the 12 of the slingshot Gary Mingus, also looking like the 81 of Bernie, who's a lap down, going to go by the inside. The 439 of Todd Wilson now trying to find his way inside to the low side. So that's racing for about that 5th spot, Todd, but all chasing the 99 of Bernie Mobs, all glued to the inside of the racetrack as they exit turn 2.
Yeah, glued to the inside. These guys, a single file here up towards the front of the field. Those guys just trying to log laps, trying to tick them off. We are, like you said, we're on lap 71 and 94. They got at least one more pit stop, if not 2 pit stops here. But I believe they can make it on one more pit stop. So that's going to shake up the field a little bit. So these guys just trying to log laps, trying to get to the finish here, trying to get to the last 15 laps or so. And then you're going to start seeing these guys go 2, 3, even 4 wide. They're going to try to make their moves as fast as they can because that big one's lurking around the corner. Things can happen in the blink of an eye at the Talladega Super Speedway. We all know that, Phil. You could be first 1 lap through a corner, and you could be 21st coming out of turn number 3 into turn number 4 because of just anything. Simply can happen at Talladega.
Oh, it certainly can. And we looked on that last restart. We highlighted the number 72 out there, the 72 Wayne Medinger. We'll call him Medinger, that Husky sponsored machine. He was up there restarting inside the top 5. He got relegated all the way back to outside the top 20. But just as we're letting this thing settle on in, yellow flag once again on the speedway. So certainly the middle portion of this race has been marred by a whole bunch of yellow flagging. I don't know, Todd, it may be time to page Dr. Green and see if we can't get some elixir for this yellow flag fever.
Yeah, definitely going to have to page Dr. Green. We're going to page him, Phil. Get some elixir for this yellow fever at the Talladega Super Speedway. I don't like to page him because he costs a lot of money, does Dr. Green, but he's out there. He's going to fly in real quick, give some elixir for this yellow fever. We're going to finish this thing under green flag conditions.
Oh, I certainly hope so. So yellow flag, I believe unofficially we'll call this number 5. 75 laps of 94 on the board. So, looking down at the math, these guys are certainly going to come up short if they were to pit right here. So what do you think, Todd? If you're up there, you're the Bernie Mobs, Bob Dixon, Jerry Walters type clan. Are you going to stay out on this caution flag, or you're going to come to get this thing packed as tight as you can and maybe risk being a lap or 2 short? What would you do if you're up there leading?
I'm going to be up there, and I'm going to stay out there on the field. I'm not going to come down pit road. I know there's still one more pit stop, and why even come down pit road right now? I think you're chancing it if you come down pit road. We still got 19 laps to go here, and it's about 11, 12 laps, maybe even 13 laps on a good field run. So I'm saying I'm staying out. Hoping for another yellow flag, but I kind of do what the leaders are going to do here. If they're all going to come down pit road, I probably am going to follow suit. But I think I would stay out right now.
All right, well, I want to ask that in the YouTube chat box. What do you think from here? It's going to be at least one more pit stop. Are you going to stay out and keep track position? Or are you going to come in and pit and get that thing packed full of fuel and try to save all you can and maybe roll the dice? I don't think you can do it from here, but who knows? We're sometimes gambling men up here in the DRTV control booth. Under the yellow flag now, once again, Rich Patton, and I believe you're ready with another DRTV replay.
Yeah, this one's a pretty good one, and it's going to do 2 tangling like we saw a little bit earlier. We're going to keep our eyes on the 04 of Don Dolson, also known as ASR Dolson. He's going to make a little bit of contact with Nelson Rodriguez, also known as ASR Postal. So, of course, we have to use their nicknames, right? So Dolson is going to go Postal. Here it goes, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to run this slow motion. He's going to bounce it off of the 77. That's Donnie Garrett. The 4 is going to go up, tap the outside wall. He's going to come back down, and guess what? The 7 meets him right there at the apron line. That's going to send the 04 Dawson back up towards the wall. That one that hit him there on the bottom 7 was Postal. So Dawson just got posted, I guess we could say, and that's going to end his evening. As you can see there, engine up in smoke as he brings it down to a stop down on the apron. Tough break for that 04 machine tonight, guys. Back to you.
All right, well, the only question I got here from the booth here, Rich, I'm going to pose the question to you. He went Postal on him, but did that cost 32 cents? Did that cost 41 cents? What's the going rate on going Postal right now?
I think in this sport, it's quite a few more zeros after that 32 cents.
Quite a few more zeros. Well, if Rich has got it, we'll certainly be cashing in here tonight as we party it down at the Talladega Super Speedway. Inside of 20 laps here left to go here now. So once again here, Todd, we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty of this thing. One more stop here left to make. I can't imagine anybody can make it here. I put the challenge out to the YouTube chat box. What do you think the strategy play is going to be? And I'm only getting one response out there, so I want to see more out there. I see Collier is out there saying, I would stay out. I want to see more from the YouTube chat box. So, Todd, maybe you can say something and get these guys to light it up.
Oh, they're starting to. Collier out there saying stay out. And Jamie Tedder out there. Rich, this kind of question for you. Tongue-tied Rich, posted. Yeah, wow, tongue-tied for me too. Jamie getting me with that tongue-tied stuff down there in the YouTube chat box, and Rich is actually down there conversing with a lot of those guys. He's able to control the chat box a little bit down there, so it's interesting to see. I would like to see some of these guys get more active. I see quite a few viewers out there watching. Come on out, tell us who your favorite driver is out there on DRTV. Who are you watching? Who are you rooting for? SBP J-Rock down there. Jamie Tedder's out there. Collier was out there. Also, earlier on in the show, there was quite a few other guys out there. I seen David Day, Mr. Excitement, Brian Wolf, welcome back. Brian out there, always out there. Rolling Thunder, Bob Tompkins Sr., Joseph Vaughn was out there. Aaron Sharp, he was also out there in the YouTube chat box. I know Alan Ebert's out there watching. He may not be in that chat box, but he's out there. Mo Perry was out there. If I missed some of these guys, I'm sorry, but I'm sure you guys. Sure, you guys will be really, really active out there. As David Day is finally saying pit. Aaron Sharp is out there saying pit. Pit now. David Day says take less fuel, get out faster. Green flag pit stop. So that's his strategy, Phil. And I almost say I would have to agree with him because he is my teammate outside of here. But I just don't know. I mean, I don't know if I want to chance it. I want to win this DRTV race, and I may be banking on a yellow flag.
Well, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to roll with dice. I'm going to let this thing run out as far as I can make it run. I want to stay out there. If I'm Bernie Mobbs, if I'm Bob Dixon, Todd Wilson, David Shin, those guys third and fourth, I want to stay at the front of this thing. I'm afraid the big one is going to break loose. We still have lap cars at play. We still got 19, 20 drivers left on the lead lap. You got the likes of, say, Derek Justice and Harry Cody in. They're going to restart deep in the field. They're going to be coming forward. I'm going to imagine we're going to see at least one more caution flag from here. So if I'm these guys, I'm going to disagree with our buddy David Day. I'm going to stay out. I want the track position, but what do I know, Todd? I can't remember the last time I finished one of these big restrictor plate type of tracks.
Yeah, well, I don't have such good luck at Talladega. Daytona, on the other hand, I've done really well at Daytona. Talladega is one of the tough tracks, and you wouldn't think it would be that tough. But with the curses, I'm always cursed at Talladega. It don't really matter. I can never. It seems like I never can win a race here. I could be leading laps and just wreck myself or wreck other people. I just run out of talent, I guess, at Talladega. It's just not one of my favorite super speedways. I'm more apt to like the Daytona race. But gotta say hello, Mike Chevier. A lot of these guys saying pit. Mike Chevier is out there. I see him in here. Ryan Pace, another guy making his first appearance in the chat box. He typed in pit. These guys starting to converse down here in the YouTube chat box. Great to see all you guys out there. Thanks for watching DRTV. We're getting ready to go back to Green Flag Racing here. Lights are out atop the DRTV Pace fan, and I'm sure we got something really good in store for you. This is going to be a fantastic finish. I can guarantee you that.
Well, we're certainly going to see, and I want to see what happens. These guys that stayed out, I see the chat box is lit up and everybody saying pit. Everybody disagreeing with me, but maybe that's why I finish at the back all the time. And I've almost at this point almost hung the wheel up full time and going to concentrate on just keeping the headset on my head and attempting to sound smart here on the DRL network. Week after week, the field in turn number 3, headed down the backstretch. Bernie Mobbs, Bob Dixon, Todd Wilson, David Shin, Matt Ebert, your current top 5. Ken Smith, he's on your screen as Stanley. Jerry Walters, Gary Mingus, Troy Higgins, and Darrell Pace. DP has found his way up into the top 10, awaiting the restart. The field hitting 3 and 4, also on the lead lap. You find Greg Lovell, the 088. Donnie Garrett, the Nature Boy. We know he's good at these places. He's currently 12th. Slowpoke, he's out there in the, that's Wayne Hawk. He's currently 13th. Greg Artlip, the number 98, he's out there 14th. He's certainly still a player. The number 070 of Walt Coburn, Waco up there. He's out there in the top 15. So all these guys still left in a lead lap. And then you look 16 through 20, you find a load of heavy hitters. Harry Codian, The Dinger, Postal, Derek Justice, Chris Harta-Felix, Todd. Those guys all on a lead lap. 20 drivers strong as we await the green flag. The DRTV pace van found its way to pit road. A little less than 15 laps to go here, Todd. Green flag about to drop in the air.
Green flag is in the air. Bernie Mobs puts the loud pedal down aboard that number 99 machine, that KTM sponsored machine, that Ford F-150. Red Bull's also on board that number 99 machine. Bernie Mobs, Bob Dixon running in that second spot. Third is ASR Todd in that 439. Fourth is the ASR DC 88, which is David Chin in that number 88 machine. He is hanging around in that fourth position. And now fifth is the number 2. That is Matt Ebert running in that fifth spot. Look at that 05. That 05 is out there still running around in the speedway after the mysterious happenings to him. He's running in that 6th position in that 05. That's Stanley. So that's interesting to see, is the mysterious things that happened to him at Talladega. So I know that's got to be going through his mind, is nothing, hopefully nothing's going to happen. These guys working over the top side of the speedway once again, and now it looks like we have a new leader. The new leader is in form of ASR Todd once again in that 439 machine. Here comes David Chen. He's trying to dive down to the bottom with that number 88 machine, not able to pull off the pass. Matt Ebert now to that 3rd spot.
Yeah, Matt Ebert, the 2 up to the 3rd spot. The battle is for 4th. There's contact. The 05 of Stanley into the outside wall. That's going to set up a multiple truck incident down the backstretch. I'm seeing one in the air and still under green flag conditions. Cannot imagine that. They'll bring out a caution flag. They are still green flag racing. A tremendous wreck back there was all set off by the 05 of Stanley. Ken Smith getting sideways, but we're going to let Rich go back and find that on the replay. But amazing there, Todd. Still green flag on the speedway. Not quite sure how.
Yeah, still a green flag out there on the speedway. That was a huge contact made there, and that's gonna be detrimental to some of these guys up towards the front of the field. As now some of these guys have been eliminated from contention. Is that's tough. No yellow flag. I can't believe that. As Mr. TV Time Rich is down there furiously going around and trying to figure out what's going to happen. And what happened to those drivers out there on the speedway? It's just, Phil, that's something that you don't want to happen. And I'm not sure why the yellow flag didn't fly.
Oh, cannot believe it did not come out. I saw one truck all the way airborne, 4 tires off the ground, and not quite sure. Almost looked like he landed on his lid. So cannot believe that the starter kept the caution flag, this all folded up in the holster. And we're still green flag racing as they work their way down through the tri-oval, hitting the start-finish line to put 82 of 94 laps up on the board. So down to the Dirty Dozen here at Talladega. It is Todd Wilson, the 439, your current race leader. David Shin, the 88, he's nestled his way nicely into that 2nd spot. Matt Ebert, Bernie Mobs, Bob Dixon, that is your current top 5. Those guys looking to break away there. It's a 9-car draft in the front of this field, but Rich Patton, we saw this 20-car field broken up by a wild wreck right there. Show us what happened. I am stunned we're still under the green flag.
Yeah, this is pretty crazy, and DRTV is prepared for this. No caution, but we're going to get that replay out to you anyway. We'll go to split screen. We'll keep all the stats up on for you. The top left window is the live screen. The bottom right is the replay. We're going to keep our eyes on the 81 machine. 81 is going to be Don Bergen. We're going to call him Bergie, ASR Bergie, as this plays out. We'll play it out in slow motion. Now, you see right there as I started moving the camera, the 5 up on top is already up against the wall, so he's slowing down. The 77 got bumped out towards him. That's going to send him off the wall, and he bounces into Bergie. Bergie is nose surfing. Look at that. That's like skateboard action right there. Then he gets on his roof. He's roof surfing. Almost tried to pull a turtle, but couldn't pull the spin off. He finally lands it back on all 4 tires, heading the wrong direction. Also, you see the 070 right there doing some amazing spinning. Keep in mind, folks, this is in slow motion, so you know how fast he's really going. Unbelievable. Takes it down to the inside wall, and now he is doing the dishwashing or the clothes washing machine as well. Unbelievable how he got up on his nose, that much chaos on the track, and no caution flag. Back to you guys.
All right, so this thing has now worked its way to under 10 laps remaining. It is still the 439. Todd Wilson pacing this thing. David Shin, Matt Ebert, Bernie Mobs, and Bob Dixon, your current top 5. These guys starting to break away a little bit. Also in that pack, we find Jerry Walters currently 6th. The Slingshot, Gary Mingus, right there in the fray. He's in 7th. Daryl Pace is 8th. And 9th is that number 8 Slowpoke out there. Wayne Hawk aboard that number 8. Currently in that 9th spot. 9 trucks are broken away. They have a almost 4-second gap to a second pack being hurled by Derek Justice, Chris Hartafelax, Troy Higgins. Those 3 drivers, they've been strong all night long here, Todd. But when we seen that wild wreck there happen just a minute ago, those guys certainly got taken out of this thing. I'm not sure even staying in line at this point if they have enough time to chase these front 9 down.
It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen. I don't know. There's still a pit stop throw in here, I believe, Phil. There's another one in the wall. I'm not sure if that's going to bring out a yellow flag. I'm not. Right now, I'm seeing green flags, so we're clean and green so far. As we come down into turn number 3, the guy is still going after he made contact with the wall. Not sure. Maybe Rich can clarify who that was here. Or maybe in our ears. Matt Ebert running in that 3rd spot. 4th is the 99 of Bernie Mobs. Here they come down to pit road. These guys coming down on pit road. I believe it's going to be the final time, final pit stop, and I'm going to follow the 43. I almost think he came in hot at 43 machine of Bob Dixon. He came in with a lightning fast number 43, and I'm not sure what happened there. Matt Ebert down on the bottom side of these guys, 3 wide down pit road. I'm not sure who's going to give an inch here. We're going to have to wait and see. As now it looks like Matt Ebert coming down to the aid of his pit crew. I'm down here in the number 2's pit stop. Right side tires going on the number 2 of Matt Ebert. Going to have to see if it goes around to the left side and see if the left side tires are going to go on. I don't think so for the 2 of Matt Ebert. Right side tires only the call. He's down and away, Phil.
Left side tires for the Bob Dixon machine, the 43. Right side tires for Jerry Walters. Also looked like it was left side tires for Bernie Mobs on the far end of pit road, Todd. Those guys all down and away.
Yeah, those guys down and away, joining the tail end of the field. These guys going to be interesting to see how it's going to play out. Some of these guys took 2 tires in at different time stamps. So, and some of these guys had better pit stops. That 43 came in real hot. I won't be surprised if he's not tagged with the entering the pits too fast there, Phil.
No, he was certainly hot indeed. Not sure if he's going to get away with that. Certainly had the brakes locked up. Almost hit the inside wall, did Bob Dixon of that 43. So we'll have to update what his status is going to be as the field hits turn number 3 with a caution flag on the speedway, Todd. Caution flag on the speedway. I'm not sure if you saw what happened, but it sounded like it had something to do around that 77 machine.
Yeah, I had the 81 of Bergie and the 77. That was the initial yellow flag. I'm not sure what happened there. That's looks like the Talladega curse.
Yeah, there was multiple things happening there. We saw the wreck happen to bring the caution flag out. Also a crash coming back to the caution flag. I saw the 99 of Bernie Mobs was put up in the fence. So this is certainly going to shake up this field. And we look up and down the leaderboard there, Todd. Those guys who all came to pit road, they may be on the tail end of the lead lap. This may have fallen back into their hands, but you look at the front of the field, it is the 31 of Derek Justice, the 19 of Troy Higgins. They stayed out. They're going to be scored 1-2. You got to think from here, Todd, they got to be short on fuel. Can they clutch enough under caution and possibly make it without a benefit of a stop here? All right, we'll let Todd get on that in a second, let him get resituated. But, Rich, believe you're ready with a replay. We may have multiple different things to show here under caution, so take it away.
Yeah, we're going to try to get into this first one as quickly as we can. We're going to keep our eyes on that purple Astroglide, number 77, of Donnie Garrett. As he plays it out, he's coming up on the 81 of Bergie right in front of him. We'll play this in slow motion. Looks like there's a little bit of contact made. That's going to mess the 77 up. 77 bounces back into the 81. 81 goes through, and look at Matt Ebert just sneaks through there. Did you guys see that? He almost went underneath that truck. He did go underneath that truck. We're going to go ahead and play this again. He goes right underneath that truck. Unbelievable. Matt Ebert keeps it on all 4 wheels. And meanwhile, Donnie Garrett's in the spin cycle. He's going to bring it down onto the apron, and you won't believe this. We're going to play this in full speed because as soon as he gets on the apron, there is the rest of the field. He got out of the way just in time. Back up to you guys.
All right. As you said, got out of the way just in time. But, Rich, I'm not sure if you got a minute there. You can look up what happened racing back to the caution flag because something definitely happened there. It was around the number 99 of Bernie Mobs. I saw some hard contact, guys getting all sorts of bent out of shape. I think it was a group that just had left pit road. the lap prior. So there may be something of note to watch there as we're seeing all these guys up and down. I don't know if pit road. I saw Gary Mingus is coming and get topped off. I see one truck pulling away ahead of him, the Mike Ireland machine. We have not talked about that 00 all night long, but now all of a sudden the end of this thing's rolling around. We find the 00 machine is going to be a player in the end of this thing. So the complexion of this race, Todd, has certainly changed indeed. 89 of 94 laps out on the board, so we get a good old-fashioned shootout tonight here at the Talladega Superspeedway.
Yeah, and you're going to see some moves. If you thought you seen some moves earlier, you're going to really see some moves now. These guys are going to go 3 wide. You're going to see guys go up through the middle. It's a win on DRTV. Who don't want to win on DRTV and showcase themselves and showcase their sponsors and thank everybody. You always want to be a part of the top 3. These guys, and they got some cool prizes on the line too, Phil. A trophy and also pictures of the renders into their nice cups. But it's nice to see what's happening with these guys. It's going to be interesting to see if who's going to finish in these top 3.
Yeah, right. Well, we'll have to keep that updated. Just getting the report back from Rich. I thought I saw more than I did there. Thought there was going to be something on the replay, but these guys, were racing back to the caution there, Rich. Not sure if you saw what happened. I saw the 99 of Bernie Mobbs get put up against the fence. What happened there leaving pit road just real quick?
Yeah, basically when Bernie came out of the pits, he got on it a little quick. Not sure if he was trying to beat somebody across the line due to the caution coming out or what have you, or he went in after the caution. But besides the fact, when he came out of the pits, he got on it a little bit too hot. It's going to pull the truck to the left, heading towards the inside of the wall. Next thing you know, 5 or 6 cars pass him on the right side as he's coming out of the pits. So he kind of just took his time, worked up on the high side to get back up into position where he was supposed to be at, I believe. He definitely almost spun that thing around, but he was able to keep it off the inside wall, so wasn't really too much to show there. Probably just getting a little anxious as this is coming down to the closing wire here.
All right, yeah, it's certainly going to get anxious there in the closing moments of this thing. A little while ago, Todd, under that long green flag run, 50 laps that we had, green to lap number 50, the average speed of the race was well over 185 miles per hour. Well, with all these caution flags, the middle section, the race pace has certainly slowed down. Now just barely over 136 miles an hour. So the pace of this race has certainly changed here at Talladega, but the action has not. And I think the action on this restart, it is certainly going to get intense.
Yeah, definitely going to get intense, and it's going to be anybody's race. It's a high-speed chess match here at Talladega. It's going to be anybody's race. You could win as far deep back as shoot, I mean, you could 14th, 15th. You could win from. Right now, there's 19 cars or 18 cars technically on the lead lap. You could win from 18th place here. That's one of those things, Phil. It's you just gotta play it right. You gotta play it. You gotta make sure you miss the wrecks, because that's probably bound to happen, and see what happens.
All right, Rich, you got a little special replay happening there, so show us what you got down there for a nugget.
Yeah, I was panning back through things, and we're going to call this one the Battle of the Gregs. We're going to keep our eyes on the 88 of Greg Level and the 98 of Greg Artlip. Hopefully, Greg, one of you Gregs, I said those names correctly. Not sure what's going on, a little bit of a road rage or whatever, but this is in slow motion. It looks like Level gets into the back right corner of the 89 machine and just puts him into the wall and sends him rolling up the track. This all happened just moments ago under caution. Not sure what's going on, if they're going to get out and duke it out like we saw this past weekend with NASCAR, what's going on, but keep an eye on the 88 and 89, because there might be some tempers flaring out here on the track, guys. Back up to you.
All right, well, if we're going to have fisticuffs on pit road, my call is pit crew, stay out of it. We want a little bit of drama. We want to see these guys, if they're going to go at it at 200 miles an hour, I want to see what they're going to do. I don't want to see no crews tackling nobody. Let these guys duke it out. The best man win. We're going to see the best man win here tonight, live on DRTV. I think the lights are out atop of DRTV Pace Fan. So I think from here, Todd, my math's correct. I think we're going to have a 3-lap shootout. It's going to get interesting up here up front. I don't believe that 439 of Todd Wilson came to pit road. I don't believe David Chin came to pit road, nor I don't believe, I'll have to go back and look. I'm not sure all these guys pit on this last go. I'll have to go back and update that, but if they didn't, that is certainly a wise play. But as we prepare for the restart, I want to go back and update that, Todd. So, get us ready for the call here. I want to see what these guys just did on pit road.
Well, I'm telling you right now, they're going down the back straight away. I'm going to ask the question to the YouTube chat box. Who's it going to be here this evening? Is it the 439 of ASR Todd, the 88? That's David Chin. Is it going to be Jerry Walters, Daryl Pace, who we haven't talked much about all evening long, Derek Justice, Bob Dixon, Slowpoke, Chris Harder Felix now back inside the top 10, T-Man, 006, Matt Ebert coming from 11th, Dinger, Matt Ireland, Gary the Slingshot Mingus, GA98, Greg Lavelle, Waco, Postal, or Codiani. Those guys are all on the lead lap. I know you guys have a favorite out there. Please tell us here in the YouTube chat box who's going to win this race. Who's it going to be here at the Talladega Super Speedway?
And just to update Todd, that 439 and the 88 did not come down pit road, so they are going to roll the dice. So keep an eye out on how this fuel strategy is going to play off. Todd Wilson, that 439, does he have enough left in the tank? Can he bring that Jackson State University machine to victory lane? Well, we're 3 circuits away from finding out. Can that Toyota save all that fuel? Can David Chin maybe propel himself to victory lane? Is it going to be Jerry Walters and that Extreme Motorsports machine? We're about to find out there, Todd. The van has found its way to pit road, 55 miles per hour. A long way through the triangle, the field looking at the starter stand. The green flag is in the air.
Green flag is in the air. ASR Todd with a good start in that 439 machine. Looks like the 04 machine off all kinds of pace. And here comes the 66 of Daryl Pace down on the bottom side of the 041 of Walters. 31 of Derek Justice tried to go way up to the top side, not able to do so. He's pinched in behind the 041 of Jerry Walters. These guys racing for every inch of real estate coming down the back straightaway. Here comes Daryl Pace in that 66 machine. He's got a whale of a run. Look for him to go high or low. They're going to leave the low line open there momentarily. Not able to pull off the pass coming down here into 3. Now he's trying to gain that momentum back. He's trying to get around David Chin in that 88 machine. The 43 of Bob Dixon. He is running 4th.
What a whale of a run for the 43 of Bob Dixon. Who's it going to be here at the Talladega Super Speedway? It's going to be 2 laps to go here at the line. 2 more trips around the Talladega Super Speedway. This is getting interesting up front. Todd Wilson, the 439, playing that fuel strategy. Can he keep the lead? David Chin, Daryl Pace, we have not talked about DP all night long. Currently in that 3rd spot, but look at that outside lane, Todd Stanton. They are definitely on the move, juking and driving 2, 3, almost 4 wide down the back straightaway.
They were 4 wide. We got a wreck, a big wreck down the back straightaway. We got cars up in the air, and that all started with the 96 and the 31. They were up topside, and the 88 of David Chin tried to keep the 96 behind them, but we're still racing back to the checkered flag. The number 439 of ASR Todd, he's trying to hold on to that position. The 66 of Daryl Pace is all over the rear bumper. ASR Todd going to be able to bring this one home here and take down the win here at the Talladega Super Speedway. Daryl Pace finishing 2nd, T-Man 006 finishing that 3rd spot. Wow, what a big wreck down the back straightaway.
Oh, what a wild wreck indeed. We'll let Rich get squared away with a quick replay here before we move on to post-race. But that was the yellow and the white flag in the air. So if these guys got anything left in these tore-up race trucks, they're going to try to get back around and catch on up and see if they can't claim a finishing position here at the Best Logistics 250 to Talladega Super Speedway. But what a wild finish there, Todd. Would you expect anything less?
I wouldn't expect anything less. It is the Talladega Super Speedway, and it's going to happen. The big one's going to happen. It's going to lurk around every corner. These guys are racing for every inch of real estate. They wanted to win here live on DRTV. And taking down that win. Oh, look at that. It's a Todd. ASR Todd going to take home the win here as long as he don't run out of fuel here coming back to the start-finish line in that 439 machine. But I'm going to throw it down to Mr. TV Time Rich Patton, who has that replay queued up and ready of what happened to bring out this last yellow flag at the Talladega Super Speedway.
Yeah, guys, this is Talladega. We also know how it goes. Last lap jitters or what you want to call it, but things get hectic. Everybody thinks their car's a little bit or their truck's a little bit narrow than it actually is. We're going to play this out, keeping the camera focused on the number 8 machine, but as you can see right there, that's going to be the 88 machine. He's going to get pinched. Right there you can see he tried to come up, didn't work. There's a truck in the way. He's going to get pinched. Next thing you know, he gets sideways. There goes Justice down the inside. He's going to bounce off the 43. 43 goes down towards the inside. He's gone off into the yard. 41 gets bumped. He gets sideways. Here comes the 8. He gets sideways, bounces it into the 7. Slowpoke goes up on the passenger side of the door. He finally gets that thing back on all four, facing the wrong direction. Unbelievable chaos. Let's go ahead and move this camera back and look at this air that Donnie Garrett is getting in that 77 machine. We'll back this up just a little bit to see how he got up there. Play this back and forward. He gets hit by the 13. 13 tried to go in a hole that was not big enough for him. 13's roof surfing down on the track as he goes bouncing down to the bottom. 88 finally comes down to the bottom side as well. Meanwhile, you can see up on the right of your screen, the 72. See if we can get that moved over there as well. He's coming back down the track, and 13's messed up, 77's messed up. Oh my goodness, he's back on his roof. Unbelievable action towards the end of this race, guys. There's a lot of damaged trucks out on this track right now.
Yeah, a lot of damaged trucks out there at the Talladega Super Speedway, but bringing home the checkered flag is ASR Todd. Daryl Payson at number 66. He's going to finish up in that second spot. Third will be T-Man 006 in that number 19 machine. Fourth was the 31 of Derry Justice. Matt Ebert bringing home a top 5 in that number 2 machine. Ireland in the double zero is finishing 6th. 7th, Chris Harder-Felix in the number 96. 8th was the 088 of Greg Lavelle. Gary the Slingshot Mingus finishing 9th. 10th was the 99 of Bernie Mobbs. The GA98 finishing 11th. Bob Dixon finishing 12th in that 43. Waco finishing 13th in the 070. Harry Codian 14th in the number 13. 72 of Dinger finishing home 15th. 16th to 88. 17th to 8 of Slowpoke. 18th is the 7 of ASR Postal. The 041 of Jerry Walters was 19th. 20th, the Nature Boy Donnie Garrett. ASR Smoke finishing 21st. 22nd was the 04 of Dulster. 24th, Connor Mertz finishing in the 23rd spot in that number 24 machine. 24th to 81 of ASR Berge, and rounding out 25th that I can see on the screen was Stanley finishing 25th.
All right, so let's move into the post-race show here. A big race for All-Star Racing League tonight at the Talladega Super Speedway. What a wild finish indeed. Todd Wilson, the 439, takes down the win. Daryl Pace with a great run, finishing up in that second spot. And I'll see if I can't grab our third place finisher here tonight, and that being Troy Higgins aboard that number 19 truck. Troy, it's Phil from DRTV, my friend. Do you have a copy?
A copy.
Troy, a fantastic run to the end there. Brought that thing home third. I know you were making some big moves, hoping to bring this thing to victory lane, but tell us what the racing was like out there in those closing laps. That looked to be absolutely wild.
Yes, it was very intense there, and a lot of clean racing, and had a good time today.
Oh, we certainly had a good time as well. But, you know, you guys out there all night, we saw a lot of green flag racing, a lot of green flag pit stops in the first half of the race. The second half of the race was marred by a whole lot of caution flags. So how did that change the strategy as far as the pitting and the fuel consumption was going for you guys here throughout the second half of this race?
Did you get a copy?
Oh, 10-4, Troy. I was
okay,
just
sorry,
asking you about how the caution flags here through the second half of this event. How did that change all you guys' fuel strategy up front?
Yeah, definitely threw a monkey in the wrench there, and just trying to adjust how many tires to take, and just trying to make the right decision, keep the truck up front.
Well, Troy, you certainly did a great job finishing up in that third spot tonight. That truck is just painted beautifully out there. I want to give you the microphone one more time to give a shout out to all your friends, your fans, your sponsors, for anybody who's responsible for allowing you out on the speedway this evening. So the microphone is all yours, my friend.
Yes, sir. I'd like to say thanks to all my family back in Indianapolis, Indiana. I recently moved down to Tennessee, and like I saw all my good racing friends at ASR and over at FSB Racing. And really appreciate racing with all you guys, and it was a good, clean race, guys.
All right. Well, that's our friend Troy Higgins bringing the 19 home tonight in that third spot, guys, having a great run indeed. But I'm going to throw it down to my partner there, Mr. Too Tall, Todd Stanton. I believe you're going to catch up with our second place finisher, that being the number 66 of Daryl Pace. I don't know where he came from, Todd, but I know you probably get a real happy driver down there.
Yeah, that's the question, Daryl. where'd you come from there towards the end of the race? We didn't talk about you all race long, and you were just there at the end, and it probably didn't fall into where you wanted it to do. But second place, there's nothing to shake your head at.
Yeah, definitely. It was my whole strategy for the whole race was pretty much just a ride. Going a lap down early for running out of fuel definitely didn't help. Didn't play into my strategy, but just wanted to keep my foot down and stay in it, and I ended up with a second place. I'm as confused as y'all are.
While you were coming up through the front, you made some nice moves there to get yourself up to second place. You missed the big wreck there at the end of that race and bringing home second place. And what strategy calls were you using towards the end of there? I know that we got the last yellow, about 20 laps to 18 laps to go, and we knew that you guys would have to make one more pit stop. And we were wondering if you were going to cut it short, or what kind of strategies go into effect with that.
Well, really, the only strategy I really had was just to make sure I didn't run out of gas again.
I'm sure you'll have a stern talking to whoever did your weights and measures on your gas cans here at the end of this, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. But more or less, fuel mileage was the big key. I wasn't really concerned with tires. The setup was really good, so gas was gas saving, and that was pretty much all I had. And came home with second, and I'll take that. Here at Talladega, I'll take it.
Oh, Daryl, I'll give you the microphone one more time. You can thank whoever you'd like to thank here tonight out here on DRTV, somebody that may watch the archives, any of that kind of stuff, but you can thank whoever you'd like to thank. The microphone and the floor is all yours.
Great. Just more or less, I want to thank ASR for hosting this, DRTV for broadcasting it, and it's been a blast. I've had a lot of fun, even for a track I don't really care for that much, but it's been great. I just want to thank everybody here.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the driver of the number 66 here, bringing home second place finish here at the Talladega Super Speedway. That is Daryl Pace. I'm going to throw it down to Mr. TV Time, who has caught up with our race winner, another Todd down in Victory Lane. Congratulations, Todd. I love the name.
Yeah, definitely made it down here to Victory Lane. This place is a madhouse. I'm sitting here next to Todd Wilson in the 439 machine. Todd, one heck of a race. Congratulations for the win, buddy. How's it feel?
Wow, it was an incredible race. I cannot believe it. We're sitting here in Victory Lane. My goodness gracious, what a great race. We had lots of great drafting help today from Matt Ebert, Connor, and Dave there at the end. And I owe it to those guys. They really helped me out a lot.
Yeah, no kidding. There was a lot of talk about fuel strategy out there today, and ironically, reports we had earlier on in this race that they were saying they were going to get quite a few more laps than what appeared to happen. Were you surprised at how quick the fuel was going, and was it a shock that you had to pit earlier, or was that in your game plan? Because up here in the booth, I think we were a couple laps behind you guys for a little while there until we caught up.
Right. Starting off with in the beginning of the race, I could go about 12 laps on a tank of fuel, and then I was pitting to avoid the mad rush onto pit road. But there at the end, those cautions actually really helped me save a lot of fuel, and I was able to clutch a lot and save a lot of fuel. And as soon as we hit my fuel window, I came in and pitted, and I said, I'm not coming in again. And so I barely had enough fuel to finish the race.
All right, well, there you have it, man. Your race winner today, 439. Todd, we're going to give the floor to you. The mic is all yours. Thank who got you here today, and again, congratulations on the win. Fantastic race today, buddy. The floor is yours.
Yep, thanks, bud. Yeah, I tell you what, I got to thank thank a lot of people here. First and foremost, Best Logistics for sponsoring the race tonight, coming on board. I'm so happy that they came on board, and I think that they have a great show. Got to thank all of the admins over here at ASR for putting this together. Gary Mingus and DC and all the other crew here at ASR. And also I got the sponsor of my truck is Jacksonville State University. We made the big dance, and we play Louisville this Friday. So I got to send a shout out to JSU Athletics and all the folks at ACE where I work, and because I know they were watching tonight. And too, this is a hometown win for me. Talladega. I grew up about 30 minutes from the track, so this track means a lot to me. And I'm stunned and just disbelief.
All right. Well, there you have it. Well, Todd, we're going to let you get back to your friends and your family and your crew and do some celebrating on this fantastic win. We're going to send it back up to the booth to Phil. And Phil, I believe you guys have a special guest up there you're interviewing today. Is that correct?
Well, we got two up here. Gary Minkus has been good enough to join us, and also the president and owner of Best Logistics Incorporated was good enough to sponsor this evening, and that's our friend Mr. Greg Arlip aboard the number 98 this evening. So, guys, welcome aboard. And what's shaking? You guys put on a great show for us here tonight, and Mr. Arlip, what do you think of the show?
Oh, I think it was great. Thank you for ASR Racing and all the great drivers, and DRTV for the broadcast. Great show. Great driving. Real good deal.
Well, we're certainly glad you enjoyed it, and thanks to Best Logistics Inc. for coming on for aboard this evening as sponsorship for this great event. And Gary Minkus, our first time coming on over to ASR. I know we're coming back here in a couple of weeks, and if tonight is any indication, when we get to Michigan, man, we're going to see some tremendous racing out there from you guys.
I honestly feel we put together probably the best group of professional drivers that we could possibly have in the community. They all did a fantastic job. The great racing and strategy and the green flags and the pit stops and everything. It was just, I can't wait to watch the replay. It's just that exciting. But I had a blast doing it. And my thanks to Greg and DC and the other admins for their job they did on this. And take the top of my hat off and throw it across the infield to the guys at DRTV. Rich, you and Phil and Todd, y'all did a fantastic job. It was more than we could have expected.
Well, Gary, Greg, we cannot wait to come back over here April the 9th to Michigan International Speedway. Look forward to coming back over. Thanks for having us this evening, gentlemen. It was certainly a great show, and we'll definitely see you again here real soon here on DRL Network. Congratulations, guys, on a great race.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Well, that's Gary Mingus and Greg Artlip, the owner of Best Logistics Inc., and responsible for getting us here out on DRTV this evening and over to ASR Racing. And Todd, the very first trip for us over here with the network, and these guys put on one whale of a show for us.
They did indeed put on a whale of a show for us. I had a little bit of a rocky start in the beginning portion of this, but I tell you what, the ending, that whole race made up for it. These guys put on one whale of a show, and I'm happy to come back here April the 9th and watch them at the Michigan NRT 400 version of Michigan. I can't wait to see what they have in store for us over there, Phil. It's going to be, I'm sure that's going to be another barn burner of a race. And again, congratulations to everybody here over at All-Star Sim Racing. This is a great league to be over here and broadcast, Phil. And I love this race. It was a great Talladega race, and they kept us on their toes tonight.
Well, a lot of great racing from these guys at ASR coming. A lot of great racing on DRTV in the next couple of weeks. Check out the full schedule. DRLnetwork.com will be the home base of DRTV. Back on the airwaves this coming Saturday night. We go over to the Phoenix International Raceway, pay a visit back to home base, TDR Racing. We go back and visit the Apple Collision Center Premier Cup Series on Saturday night. Airtime 9 p.m. So check out all that and all the great dates we have coming up. So much coming up here in the next couple of weeks. I believe 4 or 5 shows on the docket. So full schedule at the website, drlnetwork.com. So for our buddy Todd Stanton up here in the booth, Mr. TV Time, Rich Patton, as always, on the controls for DRTV. My name is Phil Lacasse. I'd like to thank you for watching us here tonight with another installment of DRTV, the best in sim racing television. Good night.